Ahem, 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 ahem. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How are you this morning? It's good Sunday morning. I'm in Los Angeles, California, City of the Angels, and I'm here. It's 11:45, and I don't know where you are across the country, across the world, but good morning or good afternoon or good evening, wherever you're at. Pray everything is going well with you. Now, we got a lot of stuff to discuss today. A lot of stuff was happening this week as far as how some things went down, and we're gonna just talk about it. We're gonna just talk about it. Uh, let's see. Let me let y'all know how it goes. You guys know how it goes. Coming up, snooze, the hit parade, the Black History Minute, your money, your job of the week, and then we move on to our lead topic. Um, so I'm your host for the Clarence, the Better Black Life podcast, and we're just here trying to teach, people how to improve their lives. You know, starting with Black people since they're in the worst condition. We starting there and then we moving out from there. But woo. All right, y'all. So, what do y'all think about that? All right, so let's get started because we got a lot to get to today. We're gonna have a good show today. I got my soundboard in here today, so I can make stuff happen. Okay, let's start with the news. Let's start with the news. Kim Kardashian's response to Kanye West asking her to run back to him is priceless. Kim Kardashian officially filed for divorce from Kanye West back in February of 2021, and as of last week, she has filed to become legally single. Holy smokes. Kanye, come on, man. It's time to come up. It's time to come up for air. Time to cut bait. She is shutting down her ex-husband's pleas for a reunion. Holy smokes. West has made it clear that he's hoping to make things right with Kardashian after publicly declaring his lasting love for her over the past several months. But the 40-year-old keeping up with the Kardashians star is evidently having none of it. Holy smokes. Let me tell you something, man. Whenever you try to get back with somebody, see, I don't agree with these dating coaches. Some of these people say, hey, this is how you get back with your husband. This is how you get back with your wife. This is how you get back with your ex. Mm-mm. No bueno. No bueno. Sometimes you got to understand that you have to just cut bait. You know what I mean? The person is not interested in what you're interested in. They see going back with you as a bad step in their life. So that there's no kind of way to hook them. You know what I mean? In my opinion, you gotta let somebody go. If you really love them, let them go and let them live their life and let them be happy. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all, for 1 second. Hold on. All right, gotta set some things up. I had to set some things up in the background, y'all. Y'all ain't supposed to see that, so I had to set some things up in the background. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right. Yeah. So got a couple comments. let's see. Brother D, Brother C, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Brother Daryl, peace to the garden. Brother Daryl, y'all don't know Brother Daryl's got his own, he's got a new channel. You guys can go over there and get the particulars on what happened with his old channel and what's going on. You guys can get those particulars from Daryl. But another strong soldier in the game, Brother Daryl Long. Go check him out. Go subscribe to his channel. Anyway, good to see you, Brother D, in the building. All right, so getting back to the news. So we're talking about Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian. She does not want to get back with you, Kanye West. But Kanye West, you still thinking that, man, there's a chance maybe I can finagle her to do this or do that. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen, man. Once a woman is done with you, most of the time they're done with you, and the older they are, they usually got more sense enough to realize, what the deal is, whether they want to go back to you or not. Sister Wana, what's going on, Sister Wana? Hey, Brother Clarence. Sister Wana, good to have you in the building. Who's watching the truck, Sister Wana? Who's watching the truck? What if I come to Arkansas trying to get some of those tacos? What's going on? Excuse me, y'all. Got a little head cold here. I might have to take some of these little cold medicine pills or something to get my nose to open up. But priest, I'm gonna drop the link. You know how I do, Sister Wine. I'm gonna drop the link. I'm gonna do the news and everything first, and then I'll drop the link. Then I'll go into the lead topic, and then I'll drop the link. Okay? Promise you, Sister Wine. You know how I do. But give me time. Let me set the stage up. All right. So back to the news, right? According to court documents seen by E! News, Kardashian has no desire to reconcile with her rapper ex and has moved to change her marital status in the eyes of the law to be single. Ay, ay, ay. Irreconcilable differences have led to the irredeemable breakdown of the marriage, and there is no possibility of saving the marriage through counseling or other means. The continued maintenance of technical marital status between Kim and Ye serves no useful purpose, and there is no reason to maintain legal relationship, the document said. Holy smokes. Let's see here. Let me see if we got some other pertinent information. The documents also note that Kardashian has been working to move the case forward and a speedy and amicable resolution, to which West and his team have been non-responsive. Ouch. As the pair have yet to be declared officially divorced, Kardashian has also stated in the documents that she will accept any conditions that will end their marriage for good. Holy smokes. As of November, Kardashian has been rumored to be dating comedian Pete Davidson. We know he's Mr. Right Now. That's not going to last too long. And while West was allegedly involved with Irina Shayk earlier this year, his recent pleas to rekindle the relationship reveal he never quite moved on from Kardashian after all. The pair have continued to co-parent their 4 children together. However, despite their rocky personal relationship, adding insult to injury, Kardashian also requested the legal documents that she return to her maiden name, removing West from her last name. A source close to the family also recently revealed to E! While Kardashian tried for a long time to make the marriage work, she finally reached her breaking point. Ouch. 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 I wish somebody would send Kanye West my way. I would sit the brother down and talk to him and just let him explain to him, she's done. You might have all this influence in the music business, and you may have all this influence in the philanthropy business, but you can't control what another person's going to do. You can't control. And once you show them that especially when they got options. See, a woman with lesser options probably would be thinking about going back to you. Kim Kardashian got so many options. She got so many options. Even at 41. Even at 41. She's an anomaly. Usually a woman at 41 don't have a great deal of options. You know what I'm saying? Not unless they really take good care of themselves. So Kim Kardashian has a lot of options. Man, I mean, there's a lot of guys just would be happy just to be seen out with her, let alone be physical with her, right? So you can't push somebody with options around, man. Once you push somebody with options around, they're gone. They're gonna be gone. And Kanye West, what you need to do is leave this lady alone, man. Let this lady go and live her life, and you're gonna be you're gonna be better off for it. So you chase somebody around, and that's desperation is even makes it even worse. You look even worse when you desperately. And I understand you got children with this lady, right? That's a whole nother ball game, right? But she don't want you. She's telling you in no uncertain terms. And I'm telling the rest of y'all, don't go back. Don't go back. Once you leave somebody and they've moved on, let them move on. Let them live their life. You go live your life. Don't try to move in with it. Don't try to do nothing with them. Let it go. Just let it go. All right, y'all, let's move on to the hit parade because we got a lot of stuff to get to today. The hit parade. Medical board reinstate licenses of two Bakersfield doctors who admitted SEX misconduct with patients. Ouch. Ouch. Bakersfield, California. Two Bakersfield doctors are named in a recent LA Times article about physicians who had their licenses reinstated by the medical board after SEX abusing patients. The cases involved Zachary Cosgrove and Ismail Najinabadi, previously reported by 17 News, involved allegations of SEX misconduct and Grove's cases acts of violence. Ouch. In 2008, Cosgrove surrendered his medical license after being accused of SEX misconduct and gross negligence with three women patients, according to the documents filed by the Medical Board of California. One woman told investigators Cosgrove punched and kicked her when she threatened to report him to his employer, and another said he grabbed her and pushed her against a wall and threw a shoe rack at her, according to the documents. A third patient reported Cosgrove threatened her when she refused to recant her story after informing his employer of their relationship, the documents said. Okay, check this out. These are doctors, right? They're having that. It looks to me, based on reading this, that they had consensual relationships. Although it is against the policy of the employer for the doctor to do that, I guess that's why no charges was filed, no criminal charges was filed. They had consensual XCX relationships with these women. Now, here's where it could come back to bite you. See, this is why, Brother Clarence, why do you do the hit parade? Because of trying to teach men that the game is different today. You can't be going on the job having SEX with the women on the job, even if it's consensual. Well, it should only be consensual. But even if it's consensual, you should not be doing it with people on the job, with people you meet with on the job, especially a professional career where you have to take an oath. You know, you just you just on a trash truck or something, or you just working at the water yard. Yeah, you can, saying, hey, Susie, you want to go out after we get off? Yeah, that's different. You don't have to take no oath or nothing for your position. But as a doctor, man, now you're held to a higher standard. You're held to a higher standard. So now, as a professional, there's certain relationships that are not going to be looked upon as very good. And one of them is you being a male doctor with a female patient. That's going to be a very explosive situation, and ultimately it will come to bite you back in the butt. So I would advise not to do. I would advise none of you guys to mess with women on the job. None of you. And even if you're a lesbian woman, don't mess with no women on the job. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because if it goes bad, you're in trouble. When it goes bad, I'm like when. Most of the time it's gonna go bad. And now you gotta go back to work. You gotta see this person every day. No. Don't do it. In my opinion, don't do it. All right. Let's finish the story. Costco testified he began using methamphetamine. Ay, ay, ay. Methamphetamine in 2002 and became addicted. His behavior becoming erratic and self-focused, according to the documents. Costco concedes that during the period he engaged in SEX misconduct with 3 of his patients and ultimately assaulted and or issued terrorist threats against them, the documents said. Holy smokes. You got a doctor that's using meth. Ouch. That's why I tell you, man, you guys gotta keep your eyes open no matter what you're doing, no matter what's going on. You gotta keep your eyes open. You gotta keep your eyes open, man. You don't know what's going on with these doctors, man. Doctors on meth. These doctors are on methamphetamines, man. I don't know what's going on, man. You gotta really look at people, man. You gotta start learning how to be a scientist and start looking at people. You really want somebody operating on you that's on methamphetamine. You know what I'm saying? Ay, ay, ay. Cosgrove was charged with several crimes, including pleading no contest to misdemeanor dissuading a witness. Oh, he did have some criminal charges. Other charges included SDX exploitation by a physician and assault with a deadly weapon other than a firearm were dismissed. Oh, the medical board reinstated Cosgrove's license in 2016, and he remains on probation, the terms of which include requiring a third-party chaperone present when he consults, examines, or treats female patients. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, so okay, here's the other guy. In 2006, Dr. N was accused by the medical board of engaging in sexual misconduct with several females patients. He remained in the examining room while patients disrobed, performed unnecessary examinations, and touched patients inappropriately, documents said. Oh boy. An amended accusation was filed 3 years later in connection with 6 female patients. The allegations include SEX harassment and misconduct, as well as encouraging an employee to lie to a police detective attempting to make one of the victims unavailable by reporting to immigration officials and the Internal Revenue Service that the victim was her husband and her husband were undocumented immigrants using false Social Security numbers. Dr. N surrendered his license in 2010 and admitted to the truth of all allegations in the admitted complaint. According to documents, he credibly explained that in 2005 he was immature and made many mistakes, the documents said. The medical board reinstated Dr. N's license in 2015 and removed him from probation in 2019. Ouch! Brother Clarence, why do you do the hit list? Why do you do the hit parade? You women out there, you gotta learn. You gotta you gotta keep your eyes. You can't trust nobody. Nobody. You can give them as much trust as you think is needed. But when that funny, see, sometimes you do something and the hair on the back of your neck will stand up. When that hair on the back of your neck stands up, then you know, okay, this is something ain't right here. Something ain't right here. I better keep it pushing because something is just not right here. All right? That's why I do this. So y'all can learn. So everybody, we can all learn from each other. Man, you know what? Keep your eyes open. Your head should be on a swivel. You know what I mean? My own martial art, my martial arts instructor, man, he used to say, you should be like a deer at the river, always looking around. You know, you never know what's going to happen. That's how you should be around people because you never know. You know what I mean? You never know what's gonna happen. You just keep your eyes open. All right, man. These doctors is going crazy, man. What is going on with these doctors? All right, y'all. That was that. We're going to move into the Black History Minute because you know what? I got to cut the show short today because I have an interview today on another panel. So I got to go to take care of that. So we're not going to do a whole real super long show today. Black History Minute. Do you know who was the first black elected official in the United States? I'm about to tell you. Sister Wanda. Can I trust you, Brother Clarence? You can if it's about the truth. If it's other thing about the truth, keep your eye on me too, Sister Wanda. But as far as the truth, you definitely can trust me. Hey. But like I say, if you tell me, hey, Brother Clarence, hold my purse, I'll be right back. Better keep your eye on me. Make sure. Better tell me up front. Hey, I have $50 in there, Brother Clarence. I better have $50 when I come back. Yes, ma'am. You know what I mean? Sister Wanda, what panel are you going to be on today? I will be on Sister Mayat's panel today. I think it starts at 3, so I'll be there today. So the sister was nice enough to invite me over there, and so I'm gonna go over there and chop it up over there. I don't know what it's gonna be about, but she invited me to come on, and so hey, my first invite. So let me go on over there and chop it up with her. So we probably be shutting it down by around 2:30 or something like that. Yeah. So let me get cracking, Sister Wanda. Okay, the Black History Minute. But I promise you, I'm gonna put the link out. That's why I'm trying to rush it down. Black History Minute. John Mercer Langston. Do you know who was the first elected official in the United States? We're gonna get to that right now. First, U.S. elected official, federal elected official. John Mercer Langston, born 1829, passed away in 1897. God, he's only 48 years old. John Mercer Langston was the youngest of 4 children. Was born a free black in Lewis County, Virginia, on December 14, 1829. Langston gained the distinction as an abolitionist, politician, and an attorney. Despite the prominence of his slave owner father, Ralph Quarles, Langston took his surname from his mother, Lucy Langston, an emancipated slave of Indian and black ancestry. When both parents died of unrelated illnesses in 1834, 5-year-old Langston and his older siblings were transported to Missouri, where they were taken in by William Gush, a friend of Ralph Quarles. At 14, Langston began his studies at the preparatory department of Oberlin College, known for its radicalism and abolitionist politics. Oberlin was the first college in the United States to admit black and white students. Langston completed his studies in 1849, becoming the 5th African American male to graduate from Oberlin College department. In 1854, Langston married Carolyn Matilda Wall, an emancipated slave from North Carolina. She and Langston had remarkably similar backgrounds. Both have been born into slavery and were freed by their slave-owning fathers who provided for them financially. Once freed and set north, they were able to obtain an education. When Wall was a young girl, she and her sister Sarah were sent to Ohio by their father, Colonel Stephen Wall. Under the guardianship of a wealthy family friend, the sisters were brought up in an affluent Quaker household. Like Langston, Carolyn Wall attended Oberlin and graduated in 1856. In 1855, Langston was elected town clerk of Broad Hill Township in Ohio, becoming the first black elected official in the state. In addition to his law practice and activities as a town clerk, Langston and his brothers Gideon and Charles participated in the Underground Railroad. John Mercer Langston caught the attention of Frederick Douglass, who encouraged him to deliver anti-slavery speeches. During the Civil War, Langston recruited black volunteers for the Massachusetts 54th Infantry Regiment, officially the country's first African-American military unit. You didn't know that, did you? You didn't know that, did you? 1868, Langston moved to Washington, D.C. to help establish the nation's first black law school at Howard University. He became its first dean. Did you know that? No, you didn't know that. Stop lying. You didn't know that. Served briefly as acting president of Howard in 1872. In 1877, President Rutherford B. Hayes appointed Langston U.S. Minister to Haiti. He returned to the U.S. in 1885 and became president of Virginia Normal and Collegiate Institute, now Virginia State University. In 1888, Langston ran for a seat in the Congress as independent against a white Democrat opponent. The election results were contested for 18 months. Langston was finally declared the winner and served six remaining months of his term. Langston lost his re-election bid in 1890, partly because of his prominence. The Oklahoma Territory town of Langston and the college created in the town, Langston University, were named after him. John Mercer Langston died in Washington, D.C. on November 15, 1897 at the age of 67. Excuse me, I said 47. 67. That is John Langston Hughes. John Mercer Langston, excuse me. John Mercer Langston. But hey, don't just take my word for it. Go check it out for yourself. Dig that. That is the Black History Minute. Go check this stuff out for yourself. OG Patrice, greetings and salutations. Glad to have you in the building. Buckle up, because we're gonna go fast today. I got, like I was telling everybody, I got another panel I got to sit on today. I've been invited over there, so I'm gonna try to knock this out as fast as I can. Let's get on to the job of the week. Where's the job of the week? What is the job of the week? Nuclear engineer. What do nuclear engineers do? Nuclear engineers research and develop processes, instruments, and systems used to derive benefits from nuclear energy and radiation. How to become a nuclear engineer. Nuclear engineers must have a bachelor's degree in nuclear engineering. Employers also value experience, which can be gained through cooperative education engineering programs. The pay. The median annual wage for nuclear engineers was $140 in May of 2020. So we got to keep telling our children, hey, we ain't talking about, there's a lot of good jobs, a lot of good jobs out there. But we know that science, technology, engineering, and math, that is the way of the future. That is the way of the future. And so many of our children, they feel inferior. They feel like they can't, they really have a simple mindset of, well, I don't want to show how smart I am because I don't want to get teased by the other students. We gotta get them out of that. Forget that. Or if you be a good student in school, you're being white. Forget that, man. Forget that. I know white people say, Sister Dunn, I know. There's people out there, y'all don't believe it because y'all haven't really seen it. Y'all haven't seen how a lot of these black children think. They actually think like that. They think they will, because they want to look for a way to not have to study. So they will say, oh, well, you being white, you being other than yourself if you try to study. No, studying don't have no color, man. You just study. Studying is the key to unlock yourself from the shackles of poverty. You have to study. And studying unshackles you from the shackles of slavery. You can make a slave out of somebody that does have knowledge, because you can tell them, oh, this is what this is. You know what I mean? That's how we was able to be made slave. Because God wanted to give you Christianity. That's why. That's the price you had to pay for Christianity, is becoming a slave and coming over here. That's the price you had to pay. No, Christianity been in Africa way longer, way longer than it's been here. So no, we didn't have to come over here to get Christianity. Christianity was over there, long time. But that's if people could tell you lies when you don't have no knowledge. You have to get knowledge in your head, and then you can resist uh, people telling you stuff that don't make no sense. All right, let's push our children to do the very best. And if they don't make it, okay, say they don't make it, but at least they'll land somewhere close, right? It's better than them, just giving up and saying, man, forget it, man. I'm gonna just hit these corners, hit these licks on these corners. No, no, no. That's a trap. That's a trap. That's a trap. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. Okay, y'all, we got to move on. We on speed time today because, like I said, I got to go handle my business. Sister Patrice, Uncut with Daryl Long. Can I email some more pics? Sister Enya, peace, Elder in the chat. Hey, what's going on, Sister Enya? Glad you're in the building. Let's see. Daryl might not still be in here because he'll pop in, but he popped right out. So he might still not be here, still be here. OG Patrice, you might have to catch him on his page. But if he is here, anyway, let's see. Let's move on to our lead topic. Our lead topic: do women create their own violent situations using the courts against men, and are men justified using violence against women in these cases? Of course, I'm going to say no. I don't believe that, but a lot of people do believe that. But let us take a look at some situations. Let's take a look. Well, let's take a look at some reasons why. How women? First of all, how do women get in this situation? How do they get in these situations where they find where it turns into a violent situation? How do women get in it? I mean, particularly men and women get in these situations, but particularly we're talking about women today. How do they get in these situations? Okay, there's some things that women usually deal with that you should be ferreting this out up front. You know that I am a proponent of vetting. I'm a proponent of vetting. You vet people. You have to vet people. You know how you can get rid of most of this? We could shut the family court down to hardly nothing if we just vet people before we try to get into long-term relationships. The problem is most of us are getting in these. Most of us are trying to have casual sex. We're trying to have this massive amount of casual sex with all these different people, and then what ends up happening is y'all let somebody raw dog you, and then they hit the belt, and then now you try to build a relationship with somebody. You don't even know this person, but now you got a child with them. It's not supposed to work that way. It's not supposed to go like that. But like my brother Cam, West Coast Cam, shout out to West Coast Cam. He said, it becomes a punishment instead of a gift from God. It's a punishment now because you got to be around this child and deal with this man that you don't even know, and now you find out that he ain't really all that good of a person, and because you didn't vet him first, you didn't go through and ask him a few more questions, so you can see just in case this person ring the bell, are they going to be responsible? Are they going to hang in there? What kind of character do they have? See, but you got to know this stuff about these people before you lay down in the bed with them. You too, man. But I'm talking about the ladies right now. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know what you're doing. So you get in the bed with these people thinking that you're just going to have a good time. But really, you as a woman and men, really, you ain't supposed to just be looking just for a good time. Because that's not what having sex is for. Having sex is for procreating, bringing it. And so you might be doing it. You might be using it for recreation, but it's not actually for recreation. And you might just ring the bell. And if you ring the bell, now what? Now you got to try and make a relationship with somebody who you don't even know hardly, because you didn't take the time to vet them before you jumped in the bed with them, right? But let's look at this. Let's look at a few things. 25 things you should never tolerate. Hold on. Sister Wana, character matter. Character is everything, Sister Wana. Character is everything. If you get into a long-term relationship with somebody and they got bad character, you're just putting yourself in a bad situation. Why put yourself in that situation? You're gonna put yourself in a bad situation because this person don't have the character it takes to. See, let me tell you something. I'm married, right? But people say, people go up to and marry and they say wedding vows. Wedding vows ain't for when the things are good. Wedding vows are for when things hit the skids. That's when you got to look back to your vows and say, "Oh yeah, that's right. I did promise to be here, even when stuff went sideways." That's what wedding vows are for. Wedding vows are not for the wedding day. Vows are not for the honeymoon. Wedding vows is when you that person do something and you are really thrown back by it. What are you gonna do now? Are you gonna just walk away? Oh no, I made a vow that I would at least stick it out and try to make it work, even though this person. Cause why? Cause people have issues. You think when you first meet somebody, you know them totally. What do you think a person's gonna say when you first meet them? They're gonna spin their situation from the like it's you listening to their best sales pitch. They're gonna spin the situation like, oh, how come your relationship didn't last? They're gonna spin it like, oh, I had nothing to do with it. Be very careful, man. Whenever you listen to somebody, you ask them, you dating somebody, and you ask them, hey, what happened? How come the last relationship didn't work out? And they blame it all on the other person. Be very careful. Be very, very, very careful of somebody that can't say, you know what? Well, this was my part in it. That person played a part in it, but this is the part I played in it, and I was not right. And this, if they can't admit the stuff that they did to make the relationship not work, what do you think they're gonna do when they get with you? When you try to tell them that they're causing problems in the relationship. You think they're gonna listen to you? They're not. They're not. But anyway, let's go through these 25 things that a woman should never tolerate in a relationship. Because once you know what you shouldn't be tolerating, then you can know whether you got to bounce or not, and how to bounce. And a lot of times, some of you women are in a relationship with real stalker type dudes. You can't just bounce, right? You gotta make an escape plan. You gotta quietly slip out the back door. You can't just bam, kick the front door open and walk out, right? Dude's gonna follow you out there and make a big mess, right? Or something even worse, right? So we don't want nothing like that to happen to you. So whenever you leave and you know you got a nut case that you're dealing with and you finally figure that out, what you got to do is quietly slip out the back door. You got to make all your preparations. It might take you a year. It might take you 2 years. But you quietly make your preparations to. I'm going to talk about escape plans in a little while. I'm going to talk about escape plans because some of y'all in the situation, man, and you need to really start preparing yourself to walk out the door. So when you finally break it down to the person, you got somewhere to go, and you ain't got to worry about them blasting off. You got to really make sure you take care of yourself. Sister One, I agree theoretically. However, even Scripture allows divorce for certain things. Yeah, because the people pushed it. The people kept pressing Moses for it. Finally, Moses didn't have no choice. He had to do it. He had to do it. I mean, he had no choice. He had to give it to him because they just kept the people were just so bent out of shape being together. But why was they bent out? Now here's the problem. The problem they had. Why was the people so insistent on getting divorced? Because they wasn't vetting each other. They had lost their way. They were doing things like the Egyptians was doing it. They wasn't doing it the way they did it. They doing it the way the Egyptians were doing it. So the Egyptians wasn't. The Egyptians had a whole different way of bringing people together, and they had a whole nother subculture of having premarital sex. They had a whole nother subculture. You know what I'm saying? The Hebrews didn't have that. But hanging out with the Egyptians for all that time, they started picking up some of that, just like you right now, right? Just like you. You live here. You speak English. You didn't speak English where you come from. They don't speak English. You never even heard of English till you ran into this dude. This dude taught you how to speak English, but you're gonna pick up wherever you at, right? You're gonna pick up if you living with somebody, you're gonna pick up some of their ways, right? I had a friend. She was dating a football player in New York, right? She went to live with him and everything. Came back a couple of years later because it didn't work out. She sounded like she been lived in New York for her whole life. I'm like, where'd you get that accent from? She said, I guess I got it from living with this, so and so. But I was like, damn, but you wasn't born and raised out there. I know, but just living up under him and talking with him and his people and everything, I just picked it up. If you sound like it, you listen to her, she sounds like somebody born and raised in New York City. But my point is, you can pick up bad habits from people. You can pick up habits off of people. If you're living with them long enough, you'll pick up some stuff off of them, right? So the Hebrews picked up a lot of this stuff that the Egyptians was doing. On the surface, the Egyptians was like, yeah, we're real good people. But they had a subculture with a lot of other stuff going on. Just like the Romans, just like the Greeks, they had a subculture where other stuff was going on down there. And if you live with somebody long enough, you can pick up anything off of them, right? But yeah, they fought Moses and they made Moses come up with divorce. They made Moses do it. Moses didn't have no choice. He couldn't even think because they kept on saying, I want to get rid of my wife. Divorce wasn't for the wives, it was for the husbands. The husbands was like, we tired of these women because they doing this and that and all these other stuff they was doing behind the scenes, right? So he gave them, hey, you can put away your wife. He had to do it, right? Because they asked Jesus. They said, hey, they tried to slick Jesus, right? Hey, wait a minute, you telling us we're supposed to be married, but Moses said we could get divorced. Who's right? I'm paraphrasing. Who's right? You saying Moses was wrong? They tried to twist Jesus up with it. And he told him, hey, Moses gave you divorce because you begged him for it. You kept pressing him for it. That wasn't God's plan for you to have divorce. But because you pressed Moses for it so much, that he gave it to you. Now you got to live with it. Now you got to live with it. Anyway, I can get into that later. But Sister Wanda, I gotta get moving because I got this other pressing thing I gotta get to. But yeah, you right. I know you right as far as the fact that theoretically that does make sense, but Scripture does allow for certain things. You're right, but it wasn't intended. That wasn't the intention of it, right? That wasn't. I mean, it wasn't. It didn't start out that way. We had to make changes based on the circumstances. We had to make adjustments to the law, right? So divorce was one of those adjustments that had to be made, right? All right, moving on, y'all. Moving on. Okay. Well, we out of there here. Let's go. We here. Let me take that out here. Okay. Now, okay, here we go. 25 things you should never tolerate in a relationship. It's no secret that relationships are hard work, compromises need to be made from time to time. However, there are things that should be considered complete deal breakers. Most of the time, women fall into the trap of overlooking certain character flaws in partners just because they are scared of being alone or still have strong feelings for him. Ouch. Unfortunately, women who do this end up in a long, unhappy, and toxic, or worse, a heart-wrenching breakup that could give them a lifelong emotional scar. Or sometimes they can end up in the situation that Ray J. Black ended, that type of situation, right? I'm certain no one wants to go through the pain that comes with these two outcomes. So if you find yourself in a relationship that makes you feel insignificant, lost, or useless, it's time to draw a line and create the necessary boundaries. Below are major things you should never tolerate in a relationship. See, look, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you tolerate stuff in relationships. You tolerating stuff in relationships, not realizing what you're doing by tolerating bad behavior is you are encouraging it. You are what they call that. What do they call those people that encourage alcoholics and encourage drug addicts? Enabler. You become an enabler. You become an enabler of your own bad experience. You're enabling the person to treat you in a bad way. And so the person gets strong in being your tormentor. They get strong in being your tormentor. And then one day you stand up to them and say, you know what, I don't think this is working for me. They go, what? Everything is great. What are you talking about? Why? Because they're so comfortable in the position of being your tormentor, they can't understand what's going on. Their whole world is built around being able to torment you. In no matter what day or night time, is they've been able to torment you. They can always know that they can get a high off of tormenting you. Talking particularly to the women right now. This happens to men too, but particularly the women. So what happens when you take somebody who's comfortable, who has built he's built 10 or 12 years, 15 years around being able to have the peace of mind of knowing if they need to get a quick fix and make themselves feel better, they can always torment you. Now you're trying to pull that rug out from under them. That's why I say, you got to vet these people up front. Most of these problems will go away if you just vet people up front better. But Brother Clarence, see, I'm trying to have all this premarital sex. See, if I go around vetting people, then I'm gonna cut it down from maybe 1 or 2 dudes a month to maybe 1 or 2 dudes every 2 or 3 months. So what? What's better, quantity or quality? What's better? See, but I think at a certain point, the gluttony takes over, even in women. The gluttony. What's gluttony? Where you just want excess. You want the excess. So there's a certain amount of, you know, male attention you want, but you want excess. You want the excess. Sister Wanda, don't ever let people get comfortable disrespecting you. You should not. That's good advice. That's good teaching, Sister Wanda. You should never let that happen. Should never let that happen, because if you do let that happen, whose fault is it going to be when you pull the rug out from this person? When you unplug them from the wall, they get all their power from. They get a lot of power from being able and knowing, and they get a lot of security knowing that they got somebody they can torment if they really need to feel better. If they're having a bad day, they can take it out on somebody. They got somebody to take it out on. Either you or the children, right? So if you let it go on for years and years and years and years and years, hey, what do you think this dude is going to do when you finally can just look at Kanye West? We did a story about Kanye West in the beginning. Okay, now the person that he could always run to and go into all of this stuff with her is gone. She got a whole new sheriff in town. Now he's like, man, but he wants his power back. He got a whole new dude talking to his children. He got a whole new dude talking to his children. Directly or indirectly on Saturday Night Live, clowning them, right? How do you think he feels about that? How do you think, as a man, he feels knowing there's a new sheriff in town? Not only is he having sex with his wife, he's now in the midst of his children as well. And he's doing public jokes about him publicly in front of his children. How's that taste? But he's trying to get his power back. One thing I could say about Kanye West, at least it hasn't turned into nothing ridiculous, where violent or anything like that. I don't think Kim is fearing for her life or anything like that. Thank God. But I mean, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. But when you let somebody get comfortable being disrespectful to you, man, you gotta these are the kind of things you gotta learn up front. You gotta kind of try and find out about the stuff up front, the character of a person. What is the character? The character might be different than the representation you getting up front. That's why you gotta keep asking questions. That's why I throw Kevin Samuels up there. What does he do? He just keeps asking questions. What do the police do? They keep asking you questions. What did your mama do? She just kept asking you questions. Boy, you sure you did that? You sure? Boy, you sure? What time? You sure you did that? Okay, mama, I did it. They just keep asking you questions. Asking questions is a time. It never fails It never fails of getting to the truth. It may take some time, but it never fails. You will eventually get to the truth if you ask enough questions, especially in the beginning. Now, once you get the answers and you see that it's that person's character is in conflict with who they are behaving as right now, then you got to say to yourself, okay, I'm probably getting this person as representative. This ain't really the real person, and that's all good. So as long as I'm getting treated right, I'm ready to ride. I'm ready to have a good time with this person. But once they start unraveling, and the real person comes out, now I gotta take a walk. Gotta take a long walk off a short pier. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. 25 things you should never tolerate in a relationship. So if you see so many things in a relationship, or you see stuff starting out. Let's say you see stuff starting out. That way you don't even get down in the mix, right? A lot of stuff you see, and when I say starting out, I mean within the first year, right? Number one, physical abuse. Physical abuse is one of the things that should never be tolerated in a relationship. That studies show that about 20 people are physically abused by a partner per minute in the USA. Approximately 1,600 women pass away per day. Holy smokes. Forgiving your partner after he hits you instead of reporting to the police could cost you your life. An act of violence should not occur twice, but should be reported immediately. Many people have ignored this, but when your life is at stake, you can't stand by and watch someone else end it. Life has probably gone on for many people who have had a hand in the passing of their significant other. Holy smokes. Once the court can't prove they are guilty, they end up walking away free. Think about that. So, that, like I said, you don't want to, like, somebody put their hands on you, they get one shot. There's certain things, people get one shot. And putting their hands on you, they get one shot. Once they do that, that's it. Cut them loose. Cut them loose. Cut them loose. See, a lot of times these people, man, a lot of times, a lot of guys, they think because you put up with it for so long, they think like, man, what's the issue? See, when you tell them after 10 years, hey, I can't take this no more. They go, what? They feel like they be like, who you been talking to, right? We had things was going good. But like I said, this is how violent situations can happen because people think that you okay with being violent, and then the day you stand up to them, they really crack and lose their mind. Emotional verbal abuse. Emotional abuse is less obvious to recognize compared to visible abuse because it can be masked in a calm voice or disguised as reproof. Emotional abuse can represent itself in the form of manipulation and controlling behavior, and most of the times cause more damage than physical abuse. Most people have experienced emotional abuse at least once in their lives and don't even know it. Emotional abuse makes you doubt yourself, so you may feel as if he's doing you a favor by staying with you. But if you stay long enough in such a relationship, it will damage your self-respect. Yeah, see, when you let guys mistreat you, man, that's when the situation gets ugly. And so they keep mistreating you and keep mistreating you, and they think you cool with it. They think you have submitted to that type of situation, and you probably have for a little while, thinking it's gonna get better at some point because you avoid it, right? You avoid dealing with it because you don't want to make a big deal. The good times are so good, you don't want to say nothing about when the bad times are bad, right? But the problem is you have slowly being conditioned to accept that behavior. And when you accept that behavior, now these kind of guys, they feel like they feel like not only you are their territory, but you're theirs to do however. They don't have a line of demarcation to be able to say, okay, this is unacceptable behavior. Once I cross this line, this is unacceptable behavior because you haven't made that line clear, right? Now you go out and 10 years later, now you're putting a line out there. Hey, brother, this is you crossing the line at this point. He gonna say, what? Get out of here. I've been doing this the whole relationship. and he think you just gonna submit, or you try to say, hey, look, you know what? Maybe I need to leave. What? You ain't going nowhere, girl. Get out of here. You ain't going nowhere. You ain't taking my children nowhere, right? Then you got to talk about escape plans. How do you escape a situation like that? How do you do it? And this happens to men too as well. How do you escape? I'm gonna talk about escape plans later, but I'm just saying you have to think. A lot of these guys use this violent behavior because you have been accepting it for so long. Then they just go poof. They just blow up. So you gotta recognize when you're being abused, verbally or physically, and you gotta be willing to do something about it. Otherwise, like I said, you let this stuff go on and on and on and on and on, and then when you finally do decide to leave the situation, the guy blows up, right? You go to court, he wants to fight you on everything. He want to fight on everything, custody. He want to fight on the alimony. He want to fight on this and that, whatever. That's why you got to come see me. So like I said, I can tell you what you need to do before you get married. There's some things you need to do before you get married, both men and women, but especially the men. At least the women, the way the laws are set up today are set up to protect the women. So women most of the time go into a marriage for being protected. Men go straight in, behind, up in the air, cheeks open, waiting for the broomstick. It's just a matter of time. It's not if the broomstick is coming, it's when the broomstick is coming for most men. You know, you just got to stand there, hold your cheeks open, and wait. Sooner or later, it might come 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, 15, 20 years down the line. But for most guys, it's what is you know, you're just holding your cheeks open the whole marriage, waiting for the broomstick, right? Unless you know how to structure the situation. See, right now, because of the marriage laws, women have no motivation to make it work other than their emotional state. Their emotional state is the only thing that they have to pull on to be able to make the relationship work. Meanwhile, not only you with your emotional state, your financial state is also a motivating factor for you. What if you could set it up to where everybody has the same motivation to stay in the marriage? Now, divorce don't come up as quickly in a conversation as it would. The average woman, if she had as much to lose as you, she wouldn't talk about divorce. Would come up so quickly. It would take a hard look at the situation before you start talking about divorce for both parties. See, men, they look at divorce, man. It's a very hard and long decision. It's not just about the emotional situation. It's about the financial situation as well, right? Women don't have to look at it like that, man. Everything pretty much they're gonna, you know, they are covered financially in the situation most of the time. So they don't even have to do any work. They're gonna get the child support. They're gonna get alimony. They're gonna get the children. They're gonna get everything, just about. In most cases, I won't say every case, but in most cases, a woman really has to show herself to be very out of pocket for the judge to even deal, you know, but not give the woman the children, right? Guy, you can show how I don't care how good you show yourself to be. You probably won't get the children, man. It's probably the best you're gonna do is 50-50%, no matter how good. But if a mother shows just that you a little bit off, man, boom, they can take the children. You show up the mother's off, what they gonna do? Okay, here, go to counseling. You still got 50%, but go to counseling. This is it. You know what I mean? You gotta show some serious signs of danger to get the children away from the woman. But that's a whole nother conversation. Like I said, I got another channel that I'm setting up now. You guys can go over there and I'll have all that information for you. Let's see. Guilting you into engaging in the SEX intercourse. They want to guilt you. So people want to guilt you into doing it. Why would somebody have to guilt you into having a intimate interlude. Why? Because a woman don't feel sexual around you, and if she don't feel sexual around you, that's because she doesn't see you. She's not looking at you anymore as a person, on her team. Now she's looking at you as an enemy. Uh-oh. Now you're in a bad situation. Now you're in a bad situation. You got somebody who has your children most of the time. That what do you think that part? And they look at you as an enemy. What do you think they're gonna teach your children about you? You're a good guy. No, that woman's gonna give him the Stalin speech. This guy is Joseph Stalin. This guy is, he's trying to, push his own program, and it's all wrong, right? People are still ignorant of the fact that our graping exists even within intimate relationships. Statistics show 1 in 10 women in the U.S. has been raped at least once by their spouse. Anyone who loves you would never force or manipulate you to do anything that you don't feel like doing. Yeah, fellas, never push a woman to do anything. Never, 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 never. I don't think there's hardly any woman that would want that to happen. There's some weirdos out there that want you to do stuff like that to them, but most women are not like that at all. At all. Yeah, it's better if somebody says no. I know I'm a trainer, I'm a teacher, and I sit there with people and I watch these films called these sex harassment films, and one of the main things that they talk about is no means no. No means no. When a woman says no, that's it. That's it. But sometimes women say, well, we want a man to chase us. We can't do that no more. We can't afford to do that no more. If you tell me no, I'm up and out of there. There's not there's not no negotiating and me keep pushing, you keep resisting, me keep pushing, you keep resisting till finally we get there. That we can't play that game anymore. You can't play that game anymore. That game is over, man. You're risking everything playing that game. No. Woman says no. Thank you very much. Sorry, man, for your time. I'm out. Bam. Gone. Where you going? I gotta go. You said no. That's it. Just like when the detectives catch you at the scene of the crime, they start questioning you, and you say, "Hey, I want to talk to a lawyer." Done. Conversation over. Right? All you gotta do is ask for a lawyer. They say to you, "Hey, we want to talk to you." Well, I need to have a lawyer. Oh, we can't talk to you no more. We can't talk to you no more. Once you ask for a lawyer, they can't talk to you no more. So, same thing in this situation. When she say no, that's it. But I thought I was gonna get the D. No, not here. You need to make another phone call tonight, man, because I'm done. I'm done. I'm working so hard. I'm not gonna risk all the hard work that I'm doing. I'm in school. I'm in this, or I'm doing this, or whatever. I'm not gonna risk all the hard work just because you said no, and then you can come back years later and say, "Oh." You can come back years later and say, "Oh, I did this. I tried to do something to you." No, that ain't gonna happen. Right? All right. Spousal rape was sadly not recognized until 1993, and up until now, most cases are not reported. Probably because most people in such places feel the partners are well within their rights. However, it's one of the things you should never tolerate in a relationship. It will take a toll on your self-esteem and make you feel powerless and valuable and valuable, less valuable. So whether it's like coercion or manipulation with statements like if you love me, you will. You should never tolerate that from a boyfriend or spouse. No, 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 no. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. And if you're having to deal with something like that, that is like one that you need to get away right away. You need an uh, emergency escape plan, right? You need to see. That's when see when you with people like this. Usually they cut you off from your family. They cut you off from your friends. You got to reconnect with your network and tell them, look, I'm in trouble. See, some people, man, they got too much pride to go tell people they're in trouble. Hey, I'm in trouble. I need help. This man is going to do something to me, and I need to get away from him, and so I can move on. Cause he ain't, he's not right. He's not rap tight. Help me, please. Don't be too good. Don't be too, cause you opened your mouth and talk. Oh, I don't need no man. I don't need this. I don't need no. No. Be smart enough to know when to back up off of all of that garbage and say, you know what? I need help. Go to your family. I need help. Reestablish, reconnect with your network. I know a lot of these times these people they will isolate you from anybody who can help you. No, you need to go. You got a phone, but you won't talk to your people and reconnect with your network because you don't want to be embarrassed. F being embarrassed. You need to go when your life is on the line. Hey, go tell your people. Hey, I need help. Go to your brother. Go to your father. Go to your uncles. Go to your cousins. Go to whoever. I need help. I'm in a bad situation. I need help. And sit down and make an escape plan. Most women, they don't make an escape plan. So they end up having to deal with all this violence. They end up having to the children deal with all this violence. The children turn out to be crazy because they witnessed all this violence. They have to deal with so many different things. Why? You don't have to deal with that stuff. I mean, we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? You got with a person and you didn't vet them properly in the beginning. Now you find out that they got a hardcore porn addiction, or they don't want to get a job, or they got some other issue that they stuck in and they won't, go out there and do anything about it. Now you got to start making your escape plan. Or they physically threatening you. That's another one. Don't even take a threat. Threats, you should take them seriously. Oh, girl, I was just talking. I was just mad. Uh-uh. Don't take no threats. Because once you start taking threats off of people, man, they're going to start threatening you more. Remember the movie Shaft? Not the one with Sam Jackson. That piece of trash. No, I'm talking about the original Shaft. You know what? Let me not say it's a piece of trash. It is nothing compared to the other movie. That's what I should say. Because I'm glad all those people got to get a job and work and all that. So I shouldn't be trashing like that. But I'm just saying it wasn't, in my opinion, nothing compared to the original Shaft of 1971, right? Remember in the movie, he said, the Bumpy's henchman, he said, if you take crap off of him, he gonna give you more crap, right? So people, you take stuff off of them, they're gonna just give you more, and you're the one showing them that it's okay to give it to you, right? Sister Wanda, I wonder why the woman who was deleted last week came outside when she saw her ex-husband, when she was already afraid of him. He had the kids in the car, sis. He had the kids in the car. When he pulled up, he had the kids in the car. She thought she was going out to see the kids. He set it up like that. He set up everything so that she would think, oh, I'm going out there to see the children. No. He had the thing all planned out so he could, execute her, and then, likewise, same with himself, execute himself. Unfortunately. So no, the kids were in the car when he went up to her and did that, knocked on her front door. His children were in the back seat of his BMW wagon, chilling while their mother was being deleted. Yeah, ugly situation. But see, that's what happens. See, if she would have never been in that long-term relationship with that guy and never even probably had those children with that guy, if she had vetted the guy properly from the beginning, you ask the right questions to get to the right answers, and then you could see. Even if they're trying to hide stuff from you, if you ask the right questions, they'll give you the right answers, and then you can decide. You can, because a lot of times people, man, Listen, people lie. People lie. There's nothing you're gonna do to get around the fact that people lie, especially when they first meet you. God's not gonna tell you got a porn addiction. God's not gonna tell you got, 10 children all over the state, all over the country. God's not gonna tell you he hasn't had a job in 2 years. He's getting disability. He's living in his mom's bed. He's not gonna tell you that when you first meet him. He's gonna try to create a sexual attraction with you. Then when you feel comfortable, that's when when people feel comfortable, that's when they start telling you the not so goods, right? When up front, they make themselves sound like a catch, right? I'm such a catch. Really, if you're such a catch at 40 something years old, how come you're single? What's going on? See, does that match? That don't match. You 40 something years old, you this awesome person, but yet you by yourself. That doesn't make sense. So now you know already, okay, there's some other investigating I need to do here because obviously this person is not making no sense. If they were such a good case, like women that say on on social media, oh, I get offers to be married all the time. Do you? Then how come you're not married? What? Obviously, you're not getting good offers. If you was getting good offers, you would take a good offer, right? Right? Uh, OG Patrice, true. Men and women lie when you first meet them about certain things they don't want exposed. Of course. Of course. We all want to present in a good light, Sister Patrice. We all want to present in a good light, especially in the first meeting, right? First, second, third meeting, we want to present in a good light. Hey, I'm this awesome person. And this other person was so crazy they made a mistake putting me back on the shelf. I just have it's a lucky thing for you that you caught me when I was, you caught me free. That's how most people spin it, right? Man, because I was in a situation, but I'm out of it now. But good luck for you has come because now here I am, I'm single. Yeah, but why are you single? Why? Y'all need to ask. I mean, on both sides, men and women, you need to ask if you such an awesome person, why are you single? Why have you been single for all this time? See, I gotta ask questions, man. When you see stuff, gaps of time where stuff don't make sense, right? A woman say to you, I've been celibate for 7 years. Why? Why you been celibate for 7 years? Maybe she has some type of issue, right? Where she has some type of violent assault or something, and she's still trying to get over it. See, but a woman ain't gonna tell you that up front. Woman's not gonna tell you, hey, I got raped 3 years ago. They're not gonna tell you that up front. You gonna have to ask questions and then be able to do the math and put things together, right? People are not gonna tell you up front, hey, I had all these different issues, I had these problems. That's why I'm really single. It's not because I ain't a good person. It's because I got all these issues. Sometimes they are good people. Sometimes they are good people, but they got issues. Sometimes they are good people, but they have issues, right? Sometimes you meet a real good dude, but he got a porn addiction, right? Or he got a sex addiction, or he got a or he's a gambler. He don't know how to keep his money in his pocket and just spend, just spend out of what he got to play with. He spend the rent, he spend everything, right? Because he got a problem. A lot of our people got problems, man, and they don't recognize it as a problem. They think I'm okay, I'm cool, but they're not cool. And you, as a woman, you need to be able to recognize quickly that a dude is not good for you. You got to be able to recognize that fast, because if you don't recognize it fast, look what could happen to you. Look what could happen to you. You could end up on the wrong side of life, messing with the wrong dude. And nobody who is teaching that. Nobody's teaching that. You got to look for character in a man. You got to look for character in a man. Men are not like most people are going to be like the OG Patrice said. You're going to see their representative from the front. On the front end, you're going to see their representative. Hi, I'm Brad. I got 2 degrees, 1 degree in finance and 1 degree in business. And, I'm just this great person. You ask more questions. Well, where you work at? Well, I don't really work right now. I didn't get along with my last employer, so I left. How long ago was that? 2019. What? What you been doing since 2019? Well, I've been doing a lot of different things. I got skills in a lot of different things. Come on. You got to know you got to know how to add up the pieces, man, and say, okay, this guy ain't worked since 2019. He didn't feel like he needed to work since 2019. What's he gonna do when he have a problem with me in a relationship? Is he gonna hang in there, or is he gonna jump ship like he did to this employer? It's just he was allegedly making all this money. Now he just left all that money, right? Is this dude rap tight? What's going on with him? Yeah, just want to do a background check. I don't say do a background check until you get married. When you're about to get married, that's when you do background check. When you say, "Hey, I'm going to be married," okay, let both of you sit down together and you say, "Okay, let's run background checks on each other." Both of you sit together and you say, "Okay, let's do credit checks on each other." Both of you sit down together and let's do blood work on each other together. See, when you get married, that's when you get into the background check. I'm just saying right now, you asking questions. You just trying to start off having a relationship. Yeah, you just ask questions. But see, I'm saying I don't want to see, because you may be dealing with somebody who made some mistakes and they're over it. Most people are not over it, but some people are. Some people have made mistakes in the past and they're over it. And you're gonna see they are a totally different person than what that piece of paper is gonna say, right? They're a totally different person, and they'll admit it. Hey, I used to do this and this and that, because I'm that way. I used to be a mess before God picked me up. So I know, but I think you should do a background check if you're gonna get married to somebody. You should know what's going on with them legally, in my opinion. If you're gonna decide to marry that person, both of you guys should do a background checks on each other. Both of you guys should do credit checks on each other. Both of you guys should start setting up a financial plan that has a joint portion of it and then it has a separate portion of it. All this stuff. But see, I'm gonna talk about all this stuff on the other channel. But I'm just saying, background checks are when you're about to get married. Yeah. Blood work is when you're about to get married. When you're about to get married, that way you can. Those are the little incidentals that you need to get done so that you can know, hey, you can work with somebody, right? OG Patrice. Nah, I say once you're dating, do a background check before you fall into them. If possible, better safe than sorry. You can if you want to. You can if you want to. You can if you want to. So that's up to you. But that piece of paper may tell you something and it may shock you, and then you haven't had the time to spend with the person to see if it's other than what's on that piece of paper. And you may throw a good person away because, remember, Moses was a murderer. Moses was a murderer. David was a murderer. David indirectly got this person killed just to get his wife, right? Paul was a murderer, right? These were not good guys. If you met them up front and say, "Hey, let's do a background check on you," these are not good guys, right? Right? Abraham was a disobedient. He was a lawbreaker. He was told what to do and he did his own thing. See, these guys messed up. Adam, same thing. If you did a background check on these guys, you would say, this guy ain't worth the paper he's printed on. Especially Paul. Ay, ay, ay. Moses, Noah was exactly. Noah was a drunk. Noah was a drunk, allegedly, right? But I'm saying, see, this is what I don't want to get confused, OG Patrice. What I don't want to get confused is that, yes, you should, and I'm not saying don't check their background. What I'm saying is you check their background with them. You ask them, and then you let them know. You know what? Because if you run background checks on somebody before you get to know them, you might see something in their background, and that might run you off, and they might not be that person anymore. They might not. They might not. Now, if you're the kind of person like you sound like you are, OG Patrice, where you're mature enough to be able to look at that and say, okay, I'm gonna keep this in my back pocket. If I see anything that looks like this kind of behavior, I know to pull a ripcord. But most women aren't like that. Most women see something on a piece of paper, they go, "Oh no, I gotta jump ship," and they throw away good men. Then they get to 30, 40 years old. They can't get a man to push a ring on their finger, let alone slip it on there. So what they got to do, they go to the jewelry store, they buy their own rings, right? Because ain't no man gonna do it because they threw away some good men. Meanwhile, the guy you threw away, I had a friend that was, I had a friend that had, he was, he was robbing banks. He had been caught up robbing banks, and I had saw him, and I told him, "Hey man, they got some openings where I'm working at." I said, he said, "Oh, okay." He said, but I got this stuff on my background." I said, "I know, but as long as you tell them up front, what's going on, you got a shot. You got a shot." So he went back, got hired for one thing. Then he started going up the ladder. I see him about 5 or 6 years later. He's a supervisor. Remember, this dude been robbing banks, but because he was upfront with it, and he was, people could see the sincerity in him, that he was like, "Yeah, I was young and stupid, when I made those mistakes." Now they got a good supervisor. They got a good dude on it, and he making a ton of money, right? But you know what I'm saying? He was willing to work hard. He was a different person. Ron P. Peace, brother Clarence, into the chat. Peace to you, Ron P. Thank you for stepping into the building. We're gonna make it a short one today because I gotta go to another platform today. But so we're gonna just knock this one out real quick. But thank you for stepping in the building. Sister OG, I most definitely want to make sure he's not a Peter Graper, M word, or any of those kind of addict before I get serious with him, man. I get you, sister OG. I get you. I get you. Like I said, you seem like you're the type of person that you take a quick look at that stuff, and you see any major situation like that, you probably will make a move on it. But I'm saying most women probably, it won't have to even be something major like that. It could be some misdemeanors or whatever, and they'll just be like, "I'm gonna throw this dude away." It shouldn't be his thing should be clean. Okay, so he throw a good dude away because he made a mistake when he was young, or younger rather, right? I'm just saying, none of us want any of you guys to be in a relationship with a pedo graper, M word, or whatever, right? Any kind of addict. But addicts come in all forms, not just these type of things. Addicts come in all type of forms. So we gotta, in my opinion, okay. So you getting two forms of advice. You getting Sister Patrice. She's a female. She would probably know better than me to advice to give to a female, right? So she's saying you guys should go out there and get the background checks at the beginning of a relationship. I say just ask them about their background. Ask them about it. You want to know. But as far as running a thing, I just think in the beginning stages, to me, that's a little, you know, that's like asking a woman how many men have you slept with. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what does it matter now? No, I'm here now with you now. I might not even. I was in a whole other mind frame when I was. Maybe she was on. She had the garden tool phase, right? But now she's out of it now. She's over it, and now she's ready to move on with her life. But you're gonna hold that. You're gonna throw a good woman away because she had a garden tool phase. To me, I just think that you need to understand and get ask as many questions as possible, just to make sure where they're at currently, right now, currently. And if you make sure you do it, a man, I wouldn't exactly do a background check on a woman unless, like I said, I was looking to get married to her. Then, but that's me. OG Patrice is giving you good advice. I'm giving you good advice. Take whichever one makes more sense to you. Take that advice and go out there and do it and apply it. But just because I ain't saying don't do a background check, don't mean I'm saying don't ask no questions. You got to ask questions. You got to ask questions. That's how you can do the math upstairs to find out what kind of person you're dealing with. So you don't have to deal with this violence just because you're trying to protect your children. Like in my opinion, this sister was trying to do. Oh, Sister OG Patrice. It don't matter to me. Once I know their legal name and birthday, I run a background check if I'm dating them and it's getting serious. I hear you. I hear you. So y'all women, y'all heard it from OG Patrice. She's saying she's doing. That's how she going. That's how she run a game. So hey, it is what it is. She giving you advice. I'm giving you advice too. I just feel like, hey, everybody deserves a chance. That's how I feel. Everybody deserves a chance. And if you ask enough questions, you're gonna find this kind of stuff out anyway. And then you can decide from there what you're gonna do. But you're gonna start up front now because this what's gonna happen is start running these things on everybody that comes up. It might get a little expensive, or might be throwing some guys away. If you're not as mature as OG Patrice, you might start throwing guys away just because they got a misdemeanor here or they got a DUI there or whatever. They got some other stuff going on that maybe they're over it, but you haven't spent enough time with them to find out if they're over it. So anyway, I am with OG Patrice on this. Look for major red flags. You know, the pedo, N word, grapers. Yeah, definitely look for red flags. Those are like people. All right, Sister Patrice, I will drop the link for you. You made me do it. I didn't know you're gonna try to get me. Don't give me too much because I got to go to another platform. Sister Patrice. Okay, y'all. There's the link. Y'all want to come up? Let's talk about it. Let us talk about it. Let us talk about it. I know, I forgot. Oh yeah, man. I'm going into I'm going into this other stream, man. I better be good. Okay, Sister Patrice, there's the link. So if you want to come up and talk about it, and we can have a discussion on whether we gonna run background checks on these dudes from the get go. I mean, you can. It's one way of doing it. I mean, I don't say you shouldn't do it now. So I don't want you to come up here and say I'm saying you shouldn't do that. I'm just saying you got to do it when you start to get married. That's when it must be done at that point. All right, y'all. We got Sister OG Patrice coming up. Sister OG Patrice, can you hear me?
I can hear you, bro. Clarence, happy Sunday to you. Shout out to your chat.
Same to you, sis. Same to you. Okay, what you gonna get? What you gonna get at me for, Sister Patrice?
No, I'm not gonna get at you, because I understand it's to each his own. But the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying, because as a woman, when we're dating guys, we tend to once our emotion is getting involved, like you really feeling this guy and stuff, what I'm saying, and you realize that it's getting to that serious matter, I think even then it's safe to go ahead and do the background check. And listen, I'm gonna be honest, I don't always necessarily tell the man I'm doing it because once I have his legal name and birth date, if he don't want to answer the questions that I want to ask, if I say, I would like to do a background check, and I don't mind him doing one on me because I know I have nothing to hide, right? So
Right.
if he feel apprehensive to me about that, it's like once I know that your legal name and your birthday, and I feel like you being apprehensive and you kind of like beating around the bush, like I'm running it, dude. Like because before I continue to get my feelings involved, before I continue to move forward, and especially if the intimate part is coming into play. It's like because we as women, let's be real, we're emotional, right? And
Right.
sometimes if you wait too late, your emotions is involved. Women tend to ignore those red flags
Yeah.
with men, and especially if they have a history of domestic violence.
Yes.
Because women tend to think, oh, well, he did it with that woman, but I'm different. It ain't gonna happen with me. Like, no, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I
Yeah.
think I think women should definitely take precautions. Like I said, my main things is the pedo, the graper, the M word, any type of addictions and
Right.
domestic violence. Those are like five main things. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? That I think that women, and I think it's safer because like I said, once women get their emotions and feelings involved with a man, we tend to ignore those red flags. So if you can do that possibly before you get serious with that man, or if you know it's headed down a serious path, if you decide you want to become exclusive, like these are important things. If you want
Yeah.
to become a couple, now you're on that serious path to dating, and you want to know, that that this man ain't subject to whoop a woman every 2.5 seconds. You know
Right.
what I mean? So,
Right.
and because when you don't know a man, how do you know if you don't know him like that, and you don't know none of his friends, he don't know none of yours, so you can't vet any of his friends or get any hearsay from them to find out about his character or anything. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's just like you said, look, I went out on one date with this guy. I'm gonna tell this story, and this is the reason why I said after that, I said I am going to do that. I am definitely going to do the background checks. One
Okay.
date, the first time I'm meeting this guy, we in a
Okay.
public place. He kept looking at his phone. I kept
Okay.
saying, "Why is this man?" And I'm like, "Okay." Then and my aunt's like, "Why are you looking at your phone so much?" I say, "Are you on call or something for your job? You don't want to miss a call. You don't want to miss a text or something." I would have understood if he said that. And he kept saying no, but all during the time he looking at his phone till I finally said, "Look, I think that's very rude what you're doing. I'm giving you my undivided attention, but you can't take your eyes off that phone." So broke hands. Guess what? He
What?
admitted to me that he was addicted to porn. That man was looking at
Oh,
porn all while he was on
oh
the
man.
first meeting greet date with me.
Oh
So
man.
I got up and I walked away. You see what I'm saying?
I hear you. I hear you.
So
I
it's
hear you.
like, no way. Yeah, I ain't G'ing for that. I see my sister, Lawana Washington Hayes says I see she up in here. I'm gonna see what she got to say. But that's the only reason why I say,
Maybe she
listen,
agrees.
even before it get, if you feeling like you feeling a guy, you really liking him and digging him, and it's starting to get to that serious place, I think it's even safe to do it then, because once you start dating them and digging them, it's harder for women who are very
Oh,
emotional to let go. And now you caught up and you done ignored all the red flags that he's subject to whoop you every 2.5 seconds. So that's why I said that.
I got you. I got you. All right. Let me see. Let me let Sister Wana check in with it. Sister Wana, are you there?
Peace, 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 brother Clarence. How are you? I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you too. Sister OG said peace to you too as well.
Peace to you, Sister OG Patrice in the house. Happy Sunday to you all.
Happy
Happy
Sunday,
Sunday to you
sis.
too. All right. So what kind of jewel you gonna drop? Just so OG Patrice just drop some jewels on me. What jewels you gonna
So,
drop, Sister Wana?
So I agree with you both. I agree with Brother Clarence that you definitely want to, make sure you understand who you're marrying before you do that. Do all the checks as possible. But we're in this world right now, Brother Clarence, and we know that things move rather quickly these days in relationships, from talking on the phone to or meeting them online to being in the bed with them. And then sometimes the so-called relationship may linger for 2 or 3 years before marriage even comes up. So, Sister OG Patrice is correct when she says, well, you kind of want to know the person
Right.
before it gets all the way down there. You
Okay.
can end up 2 years with a person that you're considering marrying, and they got a whole other family in another state.
Right. Right. Right.
Now, for everyone out there, you want to check, and yes, background checks, but you can check their online presence,
Right.
their Instagram, look for them on Facebook.
Right.
Be a little bit of a detective, because scripture does teach us that to be discerning,
Right.
and scripture does teaches us to trust no one but the Father.
Right.
So it's okay to fall in love, but take your brain with you.
Right. 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 So see, now here's what I'm saying. Now y'all are women and y'all are out there, and so y'all would know better than me when to do it, if you need to do it in a more timely manner. What I'm saying is, you definitely don't want to see, even if you do. Let's say you do a background check in the beginning, right? Like OG Patrice was talking about. You do a background check in the beginning, and then, like you said, Sister Wanda, you spend about 2 years with the person, and then you start talking about marriage, right? Okay, you need to do another background check again on before you get married, because stuff may be happening that you don't know about, and you need to do another background check before you get married. You need to do, and it's him too. You need to do a background check, because it might be an ex-husband or something back there, some filings or something you don't know about. See, everybody needs to do that before you get married. You can do it in the beginning or whenever you feel like you want to do it, but before you get married, when you guys decide, okay, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna sit down together, and then see, then you say, okay, we can both gonna run background checks on each other. We're gonna both run each other's credit. We're gonna both run, whatever else we got to do. We're both gonna do the blood work. We're both gonna do the blood work together. So we need to take care of all of that. You know what I mean? Because
I hope you do the blood work before you shack up with them.
no, man, women ain't gonna do that. The woman's not gonna do the blood work with you before you do that. I mean, and most guys ain't either. Most guys is to say, So I mean, you should, but how many people are really out there doing blood work before they lay down in the bed together? Not most people are not doing that. But before you go get married, you should. That is you should definitely do that. You should know who you're dealing with, both spiritually, emotionally, and physically, what's going on. And then legally, you should know what's going on. Now, what do you guys got to say about that?
I would agree with that statement. And I agree with Joanna too about, like you said, but they ain't doing it too tough. The blood work, even before you get married, or before you I would even think before you sleep with somebody, because let's be
Right?
real, we got we
You
got
should.
we
She's
got
right. You
sexual
should. Right.
transmitted diseases is going on out here too, and not knowing where people's sexual status is when it comes to that as well. So like, that's a real thing, right? But a lot of people choose to ignore that part too, especially like if you talking, or you dating someone and you say, well, when is the last time you were in a relationship? And they may say 3 months ago. You ain't been in one in a year or whatever. And then before that intimacy happens, are you gonna ask them, let's go and get tested and make sure we straight before we sleep together? I think that's a smart thing to do as well. But a lot of adults ain't even thinking about that part of it
Right.
as well. But definitely, again, to be, like you said, before you get married, because if you're not living together and already like got your bills and stuff tied up, and you pretty much already know each other's credit and stuff because you're living together already like husband and wife, then I don't know, if maybe not, you should do it. But if you're not living together and you're engaged, for a year or more, I would say definitely do that background again, because you don't know where that person's financial stance is, their credit, or you're not living with them, you're not always with them 24/7, so you don't know if they have committed some type of crime
You know,
that you
even if
don't you
you're
don't
living with
know about.
somebody, even if you're living with somebody, you don't know what
Yeah,
they go
that's
through
true.
when they
No,
come
yeah, yeah,
through.
absolutely.
You never know. And I'm just saying to protect everybody, you protect the women, because sometimes you can get in a relationship with somebody and they can see. This is what my thing is, and I'm gonna let you talk, Sister Wanda. That people can hide for a long time, especially if you, like you said, Patrice, they don't live with you. They can hide for a long time, and you won't never
Yes.
know, right? If that dude hadn't put the porn addiction out there in front of you, you might not have never known that, right? Obviously, he looked like he was at least somewhat of a solid dude for you to even agree to go out with the guy, right? So you
Yeah,
never,
we have been communicating, for a couple of weeks, you know what I'm saying, before we decided to meet in person in the public place. And I'm always safe. And what I always do, me and my best friend, we always give information of
right,
who the person's name is, where we going, what time we going. So if I'm not back home by a certain time,
right.
she texting me or calling me or something. So women, we got to be safe out here, because you just don't know. But absolutely, I couldn't believe it was the first time. Like, this man literally could not keep his eyes off the point and actually turned the phone around and showed me. I'm like, oh my
Oh
God,
my
really? Where they do that at? Where they do that at?
God. Oh my God. Sister Wanda, help us out. What do you think? What's going on? What do you think?
I think it's a great show, Brother Clarence. You always put on great content. I just want to let you know I appreciate it. I'm always listening. I don't always able to come up with you because I'm usually working on the trailer,
That's
but I
right.
have a meeting that I'm getting ready for,
Okay.
and that's why I'm able to come up today. But I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you
I
and your
appreciate
great content and your great advice. Uh, People are listening to you. It may sound like sometimes that they're not, but people are hearing you. They may not push that like button. They might not, you may not see them on the chat, but they're there. I know they're there because I hear whispers of people saying, "Yeah, that brother Clarence, he knows what's up." So keep doing what you're doing, brother. I support you.
I
God
appreciate
bless you. God keep you.
you too.
Peace to you, Sister OG Patrice.
Peace to you, Joanna, over there looking like a original gangster over there with that hat on. I see you.
That's how we get down. That's how we get down here in the South, sis.
I know. I like that hat. That's gangster.
Man, thank you, Sister Wanda. As always, appreciate. Let me tell you about this sister. This sister gave me a cash app as well. Sister Dawn gave me my other one, and this Sister Wanda gave me my other cash app. I appreciate you, Sister Wanda. I know it would have been
You
fine
gotta,
too.
you gotta, you gotta put your money where you support. You really do. It really shows up. People can, they'll show up in the chat just to be seen. But you really know who supports you when they put the money behind it because, I believe that money is a spiritual entity as well. And so that's a gift from God when I receive funds, and I want to make sure I pass that along to you. And that's how you know if someone is really in your corner when you see those funds in your bank account.
I
Thank
appreciate
you,
you.
brother.
I appreciate you. Peace to you. Have a great day. I hope that meeting goes better than expected. Oh man, thank you, Sister Wanda. Appreciate you. That is a good sister right there. That is a good, just like yourself, OG. She's a good sister right there.
Oh yeah, but Joanna, I've been on other streams with her. She always have good comments and perspectives and things that I like. Things that make you think, and other perspectives, even if you don't always agree with the person
Right.
on things, respectfully. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
she's always in other chats. I've seen her definitely on other platforms, but she's correct because the comment that she said about people saying stuff about saying you doing good things, then we'll hit that like button,
Yeah.
subscribe. You know what I mean? Like it don't cost you nothing to do that. You know what I mean? Make a comment. We gotta
Yeah.
appreciate people that's out here giving good content like yourself. Bro Clarence, for a long time, I couldn't even pull up your YouTube channel. I will type in "Let's Talk the Better Black Life," and I couldn't find it.
I
So
know they.
somebody else actually dropped the link, and it was the same like that with Bolo too. I couldn't, like, I would put Bolo TV, I could not find it, wouldn't pop up. So I don't know. It's funny sometimes
Let me
how.
tell you what happens. Let me tell you what happens, Sister Patrice. When you start making controversial content, YouTube screens you. They put through the screening process. Just like I had a video, the one I had, the one we were on, the one we were talking to the lead attorney. In,
Mm-hmm.
in the title, I had the word "fatal" in the title. YouTube took that word out. They took it out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Well,
it's
they getting tight on the M word, the N word, the K word, the
yeah,
word that rhyme with great.
yeah,
They getting
yeah.
real tight on those. So
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's why you probably try to find me, and once they have you on a certain list, they make it difficult. They don't put your stuff in the search results. They put you to the side, so it's hard. So if people don't know you already, it's gonna be hard to difficult to find. But I'm glad you found me anyway, cause man,
Yeah, I somebody, I think somebody dropped your link because I said I can't pull them up. I think you was on somebody's platform and they dropped the link, and I was like, dang,
yeah,
that's the only way, because every time I tried to pull you and Bolo up, I could not find it. So I'm glad that I did. I knew eventually I would, that somebody would drop the link directly where I can go on there and subscribe. But I don't know, it's something, yeah, like you said, with YouTube that's causing that. Well, I want to give a shout out to Naifa.
Hanifa,
Yes, I like that queen. Yes, yes. She
you
be
got a minute?
dropping gems too.
You got a minute, Sister Patrice? Can we read some of these comments?
Absolutely, I do. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Sister Hanifa, I've done it. And the first time I thought he would be out, but he went and got it done. Laugh out loud. If someone wants you in the way, they would just do it. Just
Yep.
ask me to be ready for whatever. Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
I
they would,
agree. If you listen, we grown adults here, right? And
right.
if you have nothing to hide, you know what I'm saying? What's wrong with that? Like I
Yeah,
said, I don't ask of anybody anything that I won't do myself. You know what I
right,
mean?
right. I'm just saying, the reason why I'm saying it like that is because I know a lot of black men have been caught up with the system. And even though
Hmm.
they may have stuff there that they are trying to walk away from. But if the person see it, and I'm not talking about the major players like you talked about the major players that you were talking about. No, we don't want to see
Right.
those players. But I'm saying, let's say they might have something that's not that serious on there, but they
Right.
feel like, oh, hey,
Non-violent, something
yeah, yeah,
non-violent.
yeah.
Yeah.
Something
Hmm.
that nonviolent crime. They might be scared that if it might run a good woman away. That's all I'm saying. But I feel
Right.
like, hey, you do what makes you feel comfortable. If you're sitting and talking to a person and they're giving you the feeling like something ain't right, maybe I better run a check on them. Try to check on them. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not telling you not to run a check on. I'm just saying when you absolutely got to run a check on them. You got to run a check on them before you get married to them. I don't care if you ran one before,
Oh
in my
yeah.
opinion. You know. But anyway, let's get some of these comments, Sister Patrice. Be ready, Sister Anifa. Be ready for the possibility of them not wanting to do it and leaving the relationship instead of not asking at all. Have you had that happen, Sister Patrice?
I have not. But you know what? If that is the case and this person lead a relationship, I can't miss what I never had. That's how I look at it. I can't
Okay,
miss what I never had. And if they walk away, you know what I mean? Especially if I'm saying I'm going to reciprocate what I'm asking of you, then if they walking away, I mean, I'm side-eyeing them anyway. Do they have something to hide?
right, right,
You know
right.
what I mean?
Right. You right. I mean, hey, you ladies are out there and y'all in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just talking about it from a mathematical percentage at when you start talking about a marriage. But y'all are out there in the trenches. Y'all know what's happening. Sister Keisha said, Brother Clarence, you need to do a background check off the rip with these ninjas nowadays.
Oh,
Maybe
we.
so. Maybe so. Like I said,
She ain't playing. She like, off
yeah,
the rip.
yeah.
Shout
Y'all
out to Cassia.
y'all know better than me. See, I'm talking. When we get to marriage point, but y'all know what y'all should be doing before that even gets happening. Because
Yeah, because I mean, I got a lot of, girlfriends that I know for sure that they didn't do, the background checks. They didn't vet these guys properly. Then they get their feelings involved head over heels. And then, once you're intimate with someone, it's a whole different ball game because this person has been truly showing their representative 3 months, 6 months, even a year sometime. I know somebody that once they married the guy, then the guy started whooping her
oh
ass. So listen, people can truly hide and show you their representative for real.
yeah, that's why I'm always talking about how you have to keep asking questions throughout the whole relationship. You gotta just keep checking where they're at, checking where they are, checking their temperature, because people can change, things can happen, people can change, and then when they get when they get comfortable, you see these other sides of them coming out, and that can be a dangerous situation. Sister Anifa, I was speaking about getting tested by a client. Yeah, I mean, some people don't want to do it. Some people don't want to.
Yeah,
It's hard,
absolutely.
Anifa.
Yep.
I mean, when you get to our age up here, I mean, maybe everybody's a little more grown up about it. But I'm talking about the average group of people, maybe let's say age 21 to about 37 or 8. It's hard to
Hmm.
go to some. I mean, people looking like, man, people. If I ask a woman to let's go get a blood test, she's gonna be like, what? What you think I'm out here doing? You know what I mean? I mean, a lot of times they will. So it
Or
might,
even just go get an STD test in general.
yeah, right. I mean, then she's gonna say, well, what you think I'm out here doing? You think I'm a garden tool out here? What you think I'm out here
Right.
doing? Right. So it's hard. So most men get scared. They don't want to ask the girl for stuff like that.
But men don't know, just like women don't know. We don't know what we don't know about each other. So, I
Right.
mean, if a man asked me that as a woman, I would not get offended. You know what I mean? Because I understand. I'm a grown woman over here. Like, I
Right.
understand why you're asking me that for your safety and mine. You
Right.
know?
Right. Right. Okay, let me ask you this, uh, Sister OG. In a situation where women is in a situation like this lady who got deleted was in a situation, she recognized that the situation was too volatile for her to stay in. Okay, is there anything she could have done to try to kind of make sure that this may not have occurred? In other words, because we've heard people say, well, if you push a man to a certain point by keeping his children from him or playing games with the court system, this this kind of thing may happen. And then it's whose fault is it, right? I'm
Hmm.
saying, I'm asking you, how can a woman maneuver? I mean, if she's just trying to protect her children, how can she maneuver any other kind of way? I mean, if the court is the only protection she got, that's offering her the only protection she can have, how is it? Is there any other way she can maneuver so that the guy won't get upset?
This is the thing, like what probably was the case, and then I'm saying allegedly because I don't know if the domestic violence reports that no charges were filed. I don't know if that happened or not. See, that's the thing. It's either 100% it happened or 100% it didn't, right? So I'm gonna give you a scenario just say in case it happened, right? And 9 times out of 10, those two women, the ex-wife and the girlfriend that had already had children with him, was with him for periods of time, had already, if that's the case of the domestic violence, they already were in the relationship before that situation started happening, right? Okay, that's probably why they left him, and I'm just only giving the scenario if it is true about the domestic
Right,
violence. So once you leave that guy, because it didn't work out. He was this way. Then now you are negotiating the situation should have been worked out regarding child support and custody, visitation rights, and all of that. Because if you know that this is a man that has a history of that, women should not aggravate or trigger men like that. They really shouldn't, because women need to learn to do the right thing. Now I'm going to say that. Listen, if just because the man may not have been a good man or a good husband does not mean he's not a good father.
Right.
That's whole different scenarios. You know what I'm saying? So if it didn't work between you and him for whatever, why would you deprive him or take him through some rigorous custody battle, especially if you know it's things that you do and say that triggers this person? So I'm saying, as a woman, if that would have been the situation I would have been in, I would have still allowed him to have visitation rights, whatever the court said, or if he and I sat down and had a conversation. And these are things that adults just not doing. You know what I mean? And even as a woman, like even with my situation with my son's father, even when he fell off into addiction, I didn't go down there and file child support against him. I didn't do that because I knew the man that he was. I knew the type of man that he was. And he was taking care of his son because he was in the service. I was getting money from the service. I was getting he was going over to his other grandmother, which is his mother's house. He was spending summers. He was spending weekends over there. And even when my ex wasn't there, his father wasn't there because he was serving his country. He was way over in Germany and all of that. But because he was being the best father that he could away from home. So why would I wait until a man get down into addiction and now all of a sudden I'm going to stick the knife in him when he already down? No. But Black women, a lot of women, not just Black women, but a lot of women do that.
Right.
So how is a man that's in a sickness of addiction going to take care of a child in that moment when he can't even take care of himself?
Right.
Because he's dealing in that addiction. And I never not once downplayed him to my son. I never not once talked bad about him. When my son was asking where was his father, I said, he's sick right now. He got to get well. And then he could come around you when he's well. Those are the things that I said to my son when he asked about his father, when his father fell into that. I did not, well, he out there doing this and I'm going to seek child support. How you going to seek child support on somebody that ain't got it in first place because they're giving it all to their addiction? That's stupid.
Right.
But Black women tend to, and I'm speaking for Black women because I'm a Black woman, but it's all women. They tend to get in their emotions. So if a situation is already heightened and the person is already have a violent streak in them or in some type of situation, what are you going to do? Are you going to the knife is already in their back. Are you going to twist it? Yeah. So women have to learn to get their emotions out of situations and quit using their children as pawns as well. Because if those women would have sat down with him and worked something out reasonable regarding custody and child support, if they could have worked it out outside of the courts, because what women don't realize is the courts this is a business for them. They get a percentage of the child support that goes through the court system.
Exactly.
So women are not thinking beyond their feelings.
Yeah.
And if I know I left this man because he was violent, allegedly, to me, I'm not gonna dangle his kids in his face and trigger him with his kids. I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
Because that's gonna make him mad at me. Right. And I'm not being right and I'm not being fair just because we didn't make it.
A lot of cases,
it's a thing called poking the bear. Like, you don't do that.
Yeah, a lot of cases, it's like that. I'm just speaking for myself. I don't feel that this case, represented that particular situation, but I do think a lot of cases are like that, where women just I mean, are playing games with the children, and just because
Oh,
it didn't work out with the
absolutely.
man, just because it didn't work out with the man, now I'm gonna use the children. I don't have nothing else
Exactly.
that
As
can hurt you.
pawns.
Yeah, I don't have nothing else that can hurt you. My last thing that I got that I can use to hurt you is these children, so I'm gonna use them.
Listen, my ex daughter-in-law took my son through hell and high water, and I watched the anguish, the hurt, the frustration in his eyes every time when we went to court. And the game she played, she'll hop from state to state,
Right.
avoiding him just so that not so he could see his child. He's paying child support. He ain't seen his child since she was 8 months, and now she's 11 years old. Then you
Wow.
move to a whole nother state, and you go walk in a police station, and you tell the goddamn police that he abused his child, and you don't have no receipts. You just say that to them, and they document that shit, and then they tell him, oh, if he come in the state of California within 100 feet, he's going to jail. Now he ain't seen his child since she was 8 months old. That's an arm baby, and now my grandbaby is 11. Come on,
Oh,
where is proof of where he abused the child? She ain't brought no receipt, but just her word. Her
yeah,
word.
yeah, yeah.
Called my son's job, tried to get him fired.
Now I don't understand that one. Now, right, Sis Patrice, explain that one to me. Why would you, if you're getting child support from the man, why would you?
Exactly. That's why I'm saying I would not have believed it and seen it with my own eyes if my son would not have went through this. I'm telling you, as a woman, I watched my son go through that. And thank God he had a black female boss that told her, how dare you call here and try to get this man fired? You biting the damn hand that's feeding you. We're taking child support out of his check. And you trying to get him fired. How's he gonna pay you child support and you're doing that? And she told him, if you told her, if you call here again, I'm going to have you brought up on harassment charges. So see, I know what the trickery, the conniving, cunning, manipulative things women do when they're in their feelings, and how they use men, their children as pawns against men. Now, my son ain't got a violent bone in his body. She actually is the one that attacked him and went to jail for domestic violence. Okay, let's just put that out there.
Wow. Wow.
If I'm telling you, as a woman, if I had not seen the other side of the spectrum, so I know, why would you trigger a man that you know that you have already had issues with him being domestic violent with you? Why would you done left him?
Right.
Why would you? Now I ain't gonna let you see your kids. Now I'm gonna drag you through the courts. Now I'm gonna do this and that. I've seen this. I've witnessed this.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. I am not saying there's absolutely no excuse for what he did to those women and that unborn child. Absolutely none. But when a person is triggered already and got a history, and now mental illness is on top of it, those are things that set people over. There is a such thing as crimes of passion, as being what do they call it? Not it's like coerced, but it's another word. I can't think of the word. It's sort of like it's like a trigger. But anyway, yeah, it's like that is real. That is real. The mind is a tricky thing. You could be a regular everyday person, ain't never committed a crime in your life. And if you get off of work one day and you go home, turn your key in, open your door and open the door to your bedroom and see your wife or your husband screwing somebody else in y'all bed in y'all house in a split moment, it's called crimes of passion. You can go temporary insane.
Right.
That's real. Right. That's real life. I've talked to law enforcement about it. I've talked to attorneys about it that have represented people for crimes of passion and temporary insanity. It's a real thing.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, a lot of guys see the thing about, women a lot of times will show that, you know, they try to show their feelings at the time of the situation was happening. But we are pushed to hide our feelings. So this thing might be stacking up in the background. You don't even see it.
Exactly.
And then one little pebble, that last little pebble gets on the pile, busts the whole thing wide open. And that's what usually happens with men, where they just say, forget it, I'm going over the edge. Now, Sister Patrice, is there anything that could have possibly been done to prevent this from happening? Is there, I mean, in your view, your opinion, you're not actually a lawyer or anything, but in
The
your
only thing, bro, that I could think of is if that man would have reached out and got some help. And that's another thing, especially in our community, when it's really hard for men just to go get a regular checkup. So now you're being told that you're depressed. He knew he was depressed, obviously, because he said it. But
right?
did he get the help that he need?
No,
Did he reach out? Did he have he said he didn't have no family on that tape. So pay attention to some of the things he's saying, because he either 100% lying or 100% telling the truth.
well, yeah,
You know what
well,
I mean? And when you fall into that type of abyss and you don't get help and there's no help available, how can you avoid it if the person is not telling you, have not reached out for help? How can you avoid such things from happening if you're not reaching out for help yourself? Because you can't make a grown person do something they don't want to do.
okay.
It's
So
sad, it's tragic, and I definitely don't condone it, because what he actually did was committed the M word. Yes, but there are other spectrums to it, and I just want women to listen when it comes to why would you push the envelope with men that allegedly or possibly have a history of that, but women do that.
yeah, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with my son is kind of going through the same thing right now, so I am definitely with you. As a matter of fact, I knew a brother. I knew this brother, and the brother had he was trying to get his children. He was married to this lady, and she passed away. Rest in peace. But at the time, she was living, and she had custody of the children. So he was trying to get 100% custody of the children. And so, because she had gotten hooked up with this dude that was in and out of jail all the time, right? So he was like, I don't want my children over there. So he was trying to get custody of them. And so anyway, he went to he went to court, and she didn't even show up. And they went to go look for her, and they found out she was in custody. She was in custody, and so even though she was in custody for shoplifting, they still gave her 400. They still gave they bumped up the child support to her, and they didn't change the custody agreement at all. And
Yeah,
my
the
boy was
system is definitely designed to cater to women, because I guess the courts believe that the woman that automatically carries the child for 9 months and give birth to him has a right, has all the rights. But let's be real. All mothers, because they have a child, ain't motherly,
right,
ain't maternal.
right, right.
Because if that was the case, we wouldn't have so many incidents of mothers deleting their own children. Let's be real
Yeah,
about that.
yes, yes. And you know what the sad part about it is, Sister OG, they haven't the court system hasn't caught up to reflect that situation. They haven't caught up to reflect that. Oh, just like alimony, the court system has not caught up to reflect that. Man, most women work today. The need for so much alimony is not really a big issue anymore, because
Right.
alimony was instituted back in the 40s when women weren't working. Most women weren't
Right.
working. Now they work,
Correct.
and so it needs to be looked at hard. But that's what I'm saying. The courts haven't caught up to what's going on. They need some big major case, and then to kind of like go back and look at the laws and see. And of course,
Yeah, because that's the only way, things like you said, big court cases that sometimes even have to go to the Supreme Court.
right,
Or I wish that there was some type of, something. There has to be like a class action lawsuit, maybe that men and women that support this can get behind the men to file like some class action lawsuit. I was on another panel talking about this because it needs to change because when you see things in laws and like the Constitution that has not been amended, has not been
right,
updated or abolished, that don't needs to be there any longer, but they still there. These are things that tend to hurt men and women in
right,
society. And let's be real, they tend to hurt us more than any other race there is, right? Let's talk about the 13th Amendment. There is a law in the 13th Amendment that says that except you go to prison, if you go to prison, that it's still that little clause in there about you would be treated like a slave and get slave
right,
wages. Now, where did they do that at? And people want to tell me that slavery don't exist anymore. Okay, break the law and see.
right, right,
Break the law and see.
right. Yeah,
So
right,
when you're talking about things like that, yes, we got to push the pendulum, more to a fair scope when it comes to things like custody laws and child support orders and things like that. I see women have their children that go into the system. They
okay,
end up getting their children back and they end up deleting their children. How many
man,
times have we heard those stories?
man,
So mothers are not always the best parent. Let's be real. Because if my son father would have said to me, let's do 50-50, I would have gladly obliged. It's just that I couldn't and he couldn't because he was serving his country.
right, right,
And not once the whole time while my son existed on this earth, and he still does, not one time did I never took him to court. Never. I didn't have to.
right,
So why, when he was down, would I do that?
right. Yeah, I just think the most women don't look at it that way, Sister Patricia. They just don't look at it that way. They just look at it like, hey, I'm just gonna get an ironclad thing against him, and that's it. Let him worry about it. I'll let the state send me the money and let him worry about it. You know what I mean? Hold on, Sister Patricia. Let me read some of these comments. Brother E Black, good to see you in the building, man. Good to see you in the building. Oh, I got a question for you. E Black, Bro Clarence, what do you think about most red states don't have default 50-50 custody, while most blue states do? What do I think about that, Brother E Black? First of all, glad to have you in the building, man. But second of all, I think that in the red states, they are more likely to have the laws reflect things closer to equality for the men in the courts, whereas in the blue states, because in the blue states mostly women are the ones doing the voting, they are going to reflect laws closer to the women. That will be my observation of that. What do you say, Sister OG?
I'm not sure about the 50-50 custody. I'm in a red state, right? And I know for a fact that states like California, Nevada, and Arizona, they are horrible when it comes to like when the man and the woman get a divorce and stuff. Oh, they horrible on the men. I got a friend where I'm at now in Arizona, which is a red state. That listen, him and his wife were married. This man lost almost everything and had to go back to work at the age of 59 when he was retired. He had to go back to work because he lost the house. He lost it was either he was going to give his wife, what did he tell me? Either he was going to give his wife he lost, the house, alimony, and something else. Oh, he had to give up a percentage of his 401k. So he did a lump sum settlement. He gave her all of his 401k, which I think he said was $190,000 he had saved up over his career. She still got the house, and he still have to pay her what do you call it, like alimony or whatever it's called, until she give him that. Now they got one child, she's grown, but she took off work when she when she was pregnant, and then up until the child was 5, the judge made him pay for all of that because, I'm the woman and I had to stop my career and, have a baby. And listen, that man had to go back to work at 59, left with 3 trash bags, get in his car and restart over his life again.
Right.
So I know it's certain things that is not fair. Looking at that as a woman on the other side of it, seeing my friends and family go through real life shit.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah. See, and the thing is, I mean, we all have horror stories like that. You know what I mean? We know somebody has been through something like that. I had a brother that I knew and I'm very close with, and he pulls up one day to his house and there's a car in his driveway. And that is, let me tell you something. As a man, you pull in your driveway and it's a car in your spot where you're supposed to be. I mean, there can be a car in every other spot. It could be on the grass, but it ain't supposed to be a car in your spot. And there was a car in his spot, right? So obviously we know what that means. So it and it turns out it was the pastor's son, making time or whatever. But the point is that he was just obliterated. He was obliterated.
Yeah.
He had a property that he had before the marriage that she and I told this dude, I said, don't put her on that put on that property. He said, no, man, this is my wife and we gonna be everything. I said, no, man, you had it before. So, you just keep it on. He put her on that property anyway. She ended up getting that property. She ended up getting this for the current house they were living in. I mean, it was an ugly situation. He was living out of his car for about 2 years before he got back. Before he got back on his feet. Yeah, it was about 2 years.
Yeah.
It was
my friend had to go back to work, out of retirement and build back up again at 59 years old, build his life up back again because of what he had to do, because those states I just named, Arizona, California, and Nevada, they are 50-50. They 50-50 states. So, if you don't have a prenup, a ironclad prenup, the woman is getting half of everything, half of the business, half of the house, half of the this, half of the 401k, half of the pension. Oh, that's it, the pension. She getting half of his pension too. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
So listening to people like the lead attorney and learning about prenups and all of that as a woman, if I met a wealthy man, I wouldn't mind signing a prenup because he got his wealth prior to meeting me. I would have clauses in there. Okay, if I'm living a certain lifestyle, then yeah, I would like to still be accustomed to living that lifestyle after we break up. Yes, it's certain things, clauses you can put in a prenup, but I would happily sign one. With the man that I meet. But yeah, but I'm, what, E-Black TV, that's a good question. I'm in a red state. So I'm going to look into the how it works with child support. I mean, child custody and all of that here, because I don't have any children. But it's just interesting. It would be interesting to research that.
Yeah, and I live in California, and it's definitely a 50-50.
Absolutely.
And when you
absolutely
50-50, that only means that you can make decisions. That doesn't mean that the custodial parent is, I would say 90% of the time is going to be the woman. Right off the rip, it's going to be the woman. That she's going to be considered the custodial parent, and they're going to just like put it all in her basket. The only way she won't get it if she says, I don't want to be the custodial parent. But most women don't, right? But so, because my son is going through this situation right now, where he had to fight to get the baby back, fight to get this
crazy.
Fight to get. I mean, you have to fight for everything, and because the other person, they get court appointed everything, so they don't have to pay for nothing. Every time you go to court, you have to pay. My son has to pay like $600-700 just for the lawyer going there and just read a couple of documents and come out of there. you got to pay. You got to pay. You got to
Yeah,
pay.
my son had paid tens of thousands of dollars to an attorney, and he said, "Ma, I can't keep doing this. I got other mouths I have to feed." He had other kids. You understand with the fiance he has now. So, like, what are you gonna do? So now my granddaughter's 13. He's still paying child support for his daughter that he hasn't seen since she was 8 months old. That's the
Right.
shit women do.
Yeah, yeah. I had another friend. I had another friend. I had another friend. We was working out together, and he one day I saw him, and he was sitting on the bench somewhere, and I was like, what's going on, man? He said, man, I just got this letter that I owe like 12 grand in back child support. I said, oh, okay, well, just pay it, you know what I mean? Or just, make a payment plan or whatever. And he was like, no, you don't understand. I've been married since I was, since for, I think he said he had been married like 20 years or something. So he's like, I shouldn't have a 12-year-old daughter. But obviously something went down, right? So
Mm-hmm.
he had to go explain this to his wife. I mean, it was just an ugly situation, but the real situation was he owed that 12 grand in taxes. I mean, in child support, and
Arrears.
in arrears, and they charge you interest on that. They come out
Yes.
that daily. I think it's daily. I'm pretty sure I know it probably is annually, but I think they come out it daily. So
And bro, Clarence, let me ask you this: don't
yeah,
they still do they take the guys they can lose their driver's license, right, if they behind or not paying child support, right?
I was working with a guy. I was working with a guy. Me and this guy, we would carpool together. We had just got the job I'm on now. This happened 20 something, almost 30 years ago. So we got there, right? Because we had to drive trucks, company vehicles, they run your license. You got to sign something that say they can run your license whenever they want to. So both of us had to get our license renewed. So they came out to us and said, "Hey," they came out to us in the field and said, "Hey, you guys got to go get your license taken care of today. You got to go take care of it today. Otherwise, we gonna have to, because we were on probation, we gonna have to suspend you guys." Okay, cool. So I said, "Hey man, we got to go take it." So we go down there, right? And I just, like they send you the thing saying, "Hey, your license is expired. It's going to expire on this date. You need to you come down and take another little test. Take the little test in the office." So I had forgot to do it, right? So boom, they let me do it right there. When we got to the DMV, they let me do it on the spot. I got license, right? So the other guy that was working with me at the time, I, Sister Patrice, I was standing right next to him, right? When the girl put it up on the computer, it was all red all over her clothes. She was like, "You got to go to the DA. You can't even. They won't even work with you." And he was like, "Why?" He said, "Because it's
Wow.
child support. They usually do this for child support." And they pulled his
Yep.
license, and he had to pay like 2 or 3 grand on the back child support. He had to make a payment on that just so he could get his license to get this job. I mean, but they would stop you. Now, but see, my position has always been, why would you take the dude's license, and why would you take his job away when that's how he's paying? That's how he's gonna pay his child support.
Exactly. Exactly.
I don't get that situation. Why do it?
It's
But
it's it's set up to it's set up for men to fail. And that's crazy. Like you said, his driver's license, he need that to get any job, because any job you have to show, documentation. So now you're taking my livelihood away, which is how I pay child support.
exactly,
But now you taking my livelihood away, so I can't pay child support. It's like an oxymoron. It's crazy.
yeah.
The system is literally designed to for men to fail when it comes to that, and that's sad.
But OG Patrice, I got a question, and you as a female, maybe you can help me understand this or help me see it the way these kind of women see it. What are they thinking when they decide they're going to get the man fired off the job that he was paying the child support from? What are they thinking when they do that?
They not thinking, bro, Clarence, because they too caught up in their feelings.
Uh,
They have too much hate for them. Because listen, like I said on another panel, it's two reasons why a woman would do things like this to a man. It's either because she's still in love with you and she's upset that you have moved on with your life with someone else,
Okay.
or either she don't want you no more and she don't know want nobody to have you and she wants your life to be miserable.
But
Okay?
the kids gonna pay for it. That's what I don't understand.
Exactly. And that's what the women do. They use the children as pawns. They would rather have that much hate for you that they would hurt their own child to think they're getting back at you. And they're really hurting their own child. How sad and sick is that? Now, do you think that person is a good mother
No, that is
that is
crazy.
capable of doing that?
That sounds so crazy. That sounds so crazy. You remember the movie Goodfellas? You ever saw the movie Goodfellas, OG Patrice?
Yes, yes,
Hey, remember when the FBI came into the people's house, to Jimmy Conway's house, and his wife would spit on the floor because they was in their house, and
yes.
Henry's wife was like, explain, like, I never understood why they spit on their own floor. I mean, yes, they're in your house, but that's your floor. You spitting on your floor because you mad because they came in your house. That's crazy. But why? It's the same. To me, it's the same principle. Like, why would you hurt the child? Because eventually the child's gonna feel the pain of it. You not get now. You're not getting that money. Now what? Was it worth it? I don't
And
care.
like I said, for the state, it's big business because they collect a fee every time you go through the child support system, and sick child support system on your children father. You
Yeah.
know, if one thing I could tell men when they realize that they have gotten a woman pregnant, or the wife, or just a woman they messing around with or whatever, and the woman is telling him he's gonna keep that child, men try to sit down and have a conversation with that woman before that child get on earth, because especially if she all in her feelings, okay, feeling some type of way, angry and mad, try to be calm, try to have that conversation where you can come to a happy medium, because it will cost you less if you can make some arrangements with her to pay child support on your own, than to
Right.
have her sick child support on you, because you have to have a conversation of, look, don't you realize this is a business for them, and every time I pay them they taking a fee out of it, so you're really not getting all that I'm paying.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
understand that, women. You know what I mean? Like, let's sit down and let's work this out. Okay, it didn't work out between you and me, but I want to be a present father, and I'm going to pay you child support. Can we work something out where I give it directly to you,
Yes.
and
Yes.
keep the system out of it if you can, because that's going to help save a lot of time, effort, and money for the man, and hopefully the woman will oblige that.
Yes.
So that's the conversation that I would have to a lot of young men, especially these young boys, and these young men that's getting these women pregnant out here and they marrying. If you
Right.
know you have no intentions, guard your seed, man.
Yes. Yes.
You have to make sure you straight. You can't take the word of a woman or anything else. If you know you don't want any more children, or you don't want children, get a vasectomy. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Because you
Yeah.
can't put all of the onus on the woman either, because that child is half yours.
Yeah. And that's you're putting your life in someone else's hands when you do that. And I agree with you. You should not do that. You should protect yourself at all times. You know what I mean? So forget that running raw and people, man. You need to protect yourself at all times. You know what I mean? A condom is a $3 item, but child support, 218 payments, you it can wipe you out. They say the average cost of raising a child up to the age 18 is $250,000 at least. Man, that's crazy. That's
And
crazy.
the higher earner of a man you are, the more money you gonna pay. Period.
Exactly.
Point blank. The
That,
higher the child support gonna be. The higher the cost period is, the court cost is gonna be.
that
Don't put yourself through that. Try to sit down and reason and have a adult conversation with that woman. If you guys didn't make it, but be present in your child's life like you want to be. If you want to be, if you don't, now that's a different story.
Yeah.
If you truly are a deadbeat daddy, then it's whatever.
Right.
But if you are that man, try to reason with that woman, have the conversation before that child is born.
Yeah. And try not to. I mean, I understand spreading your seed, but you try to keep it to a minimum of women as possible, because I don't know if you're familiar with a basketball player named Sean Kemp. You ever heard of Sean Kemp? Sister
Oh yeah, I
OG?
know Sean Kemp. Yep, I
Okay,
remember
so
Sean Kemp.
the Sean Kemp situation, he had like 9 baby mothers, right? 11 children with 9 baby mothers. And so what happened was, how they bankrupted this guy is they kept on taking him back to court every year saying,
Yeah.
I need more money, I
Yes.
need more money. But that's tough on when one woman is doing it. When you got 8 or 9 women taking
Exactly.
you back to court every year, they're gonna just bankrupt you. You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
So
Lamar Odom went through it. What Future is going through it now. I think he got about 9 baby mamas, and just
yeah,
recently got another woman pregnant. Like, what
yeah,
what are we doing here? I mean, even men that are millionaires, like, just because you could afford, look at Nick Cannon, just because you could afford it,
yeah,
like, you gonna just go out here, just be dropping your seed so loosely, having
yeah.
all these kids by these different baby mamas. Like, what is that about? What we doing here? What's up with that?
Sister Patrice, we are going to go into that next time. I got to get out of here because I got to go into another live stream in a little
All
while.
right, shout out to Wally.
Yeah, shout out to Wiley, shout out to E Black, shout out to everybody, shout out to all the people in the chat. I'll get them all, but you got any final words to drop on us, Sister Patrice?
What's that?
I said, you have any final words to drop on us before I let you go?
Yeah, I just, because of this tragedy that has happened, men and women got to wake up. We all have to protect ourselves and each other. And that means you start with self first, right? So that's what I would advise men to do, because you all get the butt end of the stick in situations like the child support and the custody battles and all of that. It costs you men. Like, be wiser than the serpent. That's what I would say to you, because it is for real women out here that listen, they in their feelings, and they're
Right,
gonna make you pay. And the way they make you pay because they not with you is through your children.
right. And
And
who else?
women, stop the madness. Like, get out your feelings, lick your wounds, move on. Let the man that wants to be the father, let him be. And it's like, quit sending them through all the goddamn rigmarole. Like, real talk. If you didn't make it with that man, that's cool. But if he want to be a good father, that's a whole different ball game.
Yeah,
And women, protect yourself as much as you can. Do not be out here causing anguish and triggering men and pushing the envelope with them. Like, do the right thing.
yeah,
We all need to be safe here. Deal with the mental illness, men. Deal
yeah,
with the mental illness.
yeah,
As a community, that's a big thing that keep getting swept under the rug. We got to deal with it because it's killing us. It's killing us.
literally, yeah, literally.
So
All right,
thank you so much, bro, Cans. I appreciate you.
thank you as always, Sister Patrice. Thank you for dropping in. Appreciate you. Here. All right. What do y'all think about Sister Patrice? Was she solid as usual? Huh? Obviously solid as usual. Always a solid performance from Sister OG Patrice. A solid performance from Sister Wana. Solid, solid. So she was saying about men going to go get help for their illness, mental illness. First of all, we got to accept that men have mental illness, and just because they can put a suit on and they can go to work every day, don't mean they don't have mental illnesses. So we got to make it okay, especially women. Women got to make it okay for men to be able to go get help. See, a lot of times men are so scared of being criticized by women, they don't go get no help. They think if they show one chink in their armor, the woman's gonna put them down. So women, you guys gotta find a way to make it acceptable for men to go get help if they need it. You guys got to do that. So But shout out to Sister Patrice, OG Patrice. Always solid performance. Always solid every day, all day. Shout out to Sister Wana. Always solid all day, every day. I want to thank everybody in the chat. Brother Ron P, Brother Wally, Brother E Black TV, my brother from another mother. Who else was in here today? Who else stopped by? Let's see. Sister Hanifa, Sister Keisha. Who else stopped by? Who else? I know some other people in the chat, but they haven't. They didn't. They just was kind of listening. Brother Daryl, go check out Brother Daryl, Uncut with Daryl Long. Go check out his new channel. Sister Inya. Who else? Who else? Who else came through? Oh, I got everybody that signed up on the chat. So I'm happy. I'm thankful for that. All of y'all came. I got another live stream to do today. I got to go over to Sister Mayat's live stream. Mayat Speaks. They want to interview your brother, so I'm gonna go over there and chop it up for a little while. But like I said, solid performance by everybody in the chat. As always, my chat I don't never have to really. I mean, I kicked a few people out because they come in here playing games. But I mean, my hardcore drivers, that y'all always do a solid job. And see, here's the thing, y'all. I appreciate y'all for being solid in the chat, because with the way we talk on screen and the way we in the chat, see, I want people to be able to listen to us and watch us even when their children are with us. So I don't want us to say or do anything. I mean, sometimes we're gonna get off the case every now and then. But I mean, I'm saying, as far as all that cursing and all that, we don't have to do all that to get our point across here. Because, like I said, I got a lot of people, man, they washing dishes or they cooking and they listening to us, and we don't want to have them so that they can't have the children in the room with them. Same thing on the chat. So I appreciate y'all. Salute to my chat. Salute to y'all. I will be getting with you, E Black. I think I got another topic for us to discuss, brother. But so I'll be getting with you later. But you guys can go check out E Black TV. Go subscribe to him. Who else? Go subscribe to Hanifa. Whoever else is out here. I don't think Keisha has a page. But you guys could definitely sign up for everybody here. I don't know, Brother Wally, if you got a page. Brother Ron P, if they have pages, go and subscribe to them and go check them out. Anyway, that being said, black men, go get, if you need help, go get help. Go get help. If you need help, if you need to look, you need to, if somebody's telling you need help, maybe you do. Maybe you do. It's okay to go get help. It's not okay to need help and not go get it. And then it ends up costing everybody dearly. So go get that help. So like they say, you don't get pushed to that level or whatever. And then you think outside of your natural state. Women, we need y'all help. Y'all want us to be better men. We need y'all to step up and make it acceptable for us to be able to go get help, and you not look at us as weak men just because we got a chink in our armor. We need some help. Okay? So we need y'all to step up and not criticize us just for going to go get help. All right? All right. We'll finish this discussion, I'm sure, at another time, maybe on my other channel. And so, but I got to go. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all on the next stream. If you got a minute, you can meet me over there at Mayat Speaks. If not, I understand. But make sure you be back here next Sunday, 11:45. Probably be able to run a little longer next time, but this time I got to get off because I got to go over there. All right, y'all. See y'all next time, and peace.